Brendan Schaub, Mark Harley. Welcome to the Frag Out Podcast.
Thanks for having us, man.
This is absolutely insanity, but it's a good insanity. I'm super excited. Brendan, you lost your satchel there in the Uber.
It's a fanny pack.
Okay, well, I was trying to not.
No, it's very gay.
I mean, Indiana Jones had a satchel, so I mean, he's a badass.
His was a satchel. Mine's a straight up Saint Laurent, full blown, far left satchel.
I mean, hey man, you gotta have that drip, dog. Have that drip.
It is a Pete Buttigieg satchel.
I mean, you don't blend in Appleton with that. I just want to throw that out there.
I don't blend in anywhere in Appleton. Anytime we walk in stores, everyone goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" I'm like, "What gave it away?"
Wait, yeah. What am I wearing that doesn't say Wisconsin on it?
It's like, what gave it away? The fashion, you know?
Well, Mark kind of fits in a little. He's got the plaid on. He's got the muscles. Not the hair. The hair doesn't match. Yeah.
Neither one of us fit in here. We both look ridiculous out here, and they do think we're two gay men.
Yeah.
I mean,
just because we're holding hands doesn't mean.
Right.
And the other thing about Wisconsin, all the women are just as big as us here. They are thick girls.
Yeah. I mean,
thick. Like I'm known as a thick man in L.A.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin, everyone's like, "Oh, you're scared. Are you okay? Do you need to eat?"
You need a burger?
I'm like, what? Need some cheese curds? I'm like, no.
I was gonna tell you guys to get some cheese curds last night.
We tried them last night.
At Rye?
No, where were we at?
The bar afterwards. It was called Basil's.
Basil's is great.
Yeah, we had great burgers and great appetizers.
It was fun. There's no one in there. We just listened to some jukebox tunes.
Terrible tunes, but got good cheese
whiskey.
curds. Yeah.
I had a nice burger.
Well, what kind of burger? You remember?
Yeah, it was a beef burger. Here's this other thing. The way I order, I'm from LA, so I did it without a bun. So I was like, "Can I get a big patty without a bun?" He's like, "You serious?" I'm like, "Yes, sir."
They served it on a rainbow, napkin.
And I said, "And this is a Pete Buttigieg satchel."
No, there's a lot of like I said in the messages. Rye is a really good restaurant. One of my favorites downtown.
It was nice.
And very kind of secluded. Like if you want to just kind of be like private, and there's like a little private.
I did get that vibe. I was like, "Ooh, this is like a little speakeasy restaurant."
It's very nice, man. The food's great. The oysters are. I don't know if you're like a fan of oysters, but
I like oysters.
They have really good oysters there. The office here, even though I'm not an employee here, they invite me out as like the charity case of the office a little bit. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. No, they love me. But we go there for like holiday parties, or like if they get a new employee that's been here for a while, they celebrate them.
Is that like would that be considered like the fancy restaurant in Appleton?
It's one of the fanciest.
It's nice.
Yeah. There's an Italian place called Carmela's, which is over by the mall. Mm-hmm. Family owned, Italian, everything made to order, very delicious. And they also own a breakfast bistro called Sap, and everything you get there is from a local farm. So everything's locally sourced.
See, I like that. Now we're talking.
I like
that.
Sunday mornings after church, that place is packed. You're waiting like an hour and a half.
Yeah, or don't go to church. I hear you.
That's why you don't. That's why you go to breakfast, dog. That's why I go to. I'm at breakfast by 8 o'clock on Sundays. I'm just like, because I'm gonna beat that rush.
Yeah,
I want that skillet or those eggs Benny.
Yeah, it was really good food there. Really good food. There's a Katsua by our hotel.
Katsuya, yeah.
I don't trust sushi out here in Wisconsin.
So the sushi in town is great. I've been to Katsuya. I'm actually not a fan. There's better. I think there's better. There's Sushi Lover right up the road, and it's you walk in, and you're like, okay, this kind of sketch.
Is it all you can eat?
Yes, they do have all.
I'm out.
Yeah, but I'm in.
Yeah. Katsuya's got good stuff, but they also have hibachi. You like hibachi?
Yeah.
Katsuya's a hibachi place.
Oh, I like that.
So then go get
it's
hibachi.
like a Benihana's without the circus act.
Benihana's without like the fraud. Yeah.
Benihana's, but real.
Is there fraud in Benihana?
Yeah, well, they talked about it in Wolf of Wall Street. He was doing stuff like boat racing or something like that, or some illegal shit.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. I went to one, but there's a I think it's gone now, but there was a Benihana in downtown Milwaukee. And I was down there back in 2010, the same day that a piece of concrete from a parking garage landed on a kid and killed him. But they were also filming. They were also filming Transformers #3.
They filmed Transformers out here?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
They filmed Transformers. They filmed Bridesmaids down in Milwaukee.
Oh, wow.
They filmed.
Oh, that's right. That's all in Milwaukee. That's right.
It is all Milwaukee, but they make it look like where were they? Like Washington or something? It was some bullshit, right?
Yeah, it was strange.
And then there was then don't forget there's Public Enemies. Johnny Depp filmed here in Wisconsin.
Jesus Christ.
Ishnala Supper Club in the Dells was one of the places that they filmed because it's the only supper club like on a river, I think, in Wisconsin. It's the number one supper club in the state.
Oh damn.
And is that just state tax incentives to film here, or what's going on?
Oh man, I have no idea. I don't know all about
Yeah.
that. But I mean, I think people want to come to Wisconsin just because of the allure of like, Midwest and we have up north, we have we call it God's
You have
country.
everything. Lakes
Man,
up the gazoo.
So if you guys ever come back and you guys have an extra week, I highly encourage you to go check out Door County. That's our wine country. So there's tons of wineries. There is bluffs. There's overlooks, scenic overlooks. There's islands you can walk to. I was just
I like that.
I was just there with my daughter. We walked across the little area. I've never been up there, and it's a lighthouse, old lighthouse from the Coast Guard.
Yeah, I think that's the best part about touring is like, I'm sure Appleton's great. I would never come here just randomly,
I mean,
right?
yeah,
like, why would it's just not on your radar.
It's a flyover.
In California, it's just not on your. Like, you ever heard of Appleton before this?
No.
Never.
And I've been to Wisconsin. Many
I know
times.
Green Bay, obviously the Packers. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, so it's like I know Green Bay, but outside that, and I've toured in Milwaukee, but outside that, yeah, there are Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he looks like he's just got out of chemo in that. Yeah.
That was 2019.
Oh, was
so
it?
that was November 5th, 2019. And the reason why I remember that is because the picture that we're holding is my buddy from infantry school, my buddy Aaron Amont. He was killed November 5th, 2009 in Afghanistan. He was hit by an IED. It was a 1,000-pound IED. The crater was 28 feet wide by 8 feet deep. And so he was one of 2 people that were killed. And we were invited to go up there to hang out with the Packers, and we had no idea who was going to be there. Like, they tell you you're going to go hang out with the Packers, you're like, all right, so it's like injured reserve, something like that, right? You know what I mean?
You mean the third string?
Yeah.
You mean the kid who never plays that they draft in the first round to take Rodgers' place, but he sucks.
My name's Kyle Smith. Oh, when did you play? 1984?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
oh,
not
I wasn't
good.
even born. Like, but I walk in.
Remember Reggie White look-alike? Like, but he looks like Reggie White, right, y'all? I mean, I guess.
What's your name? Tedgy White?
Yeah.
Well,
Keji Beige.
I get there and there's Aaron Rodgers, there's Jeremy Graham, there's Bakhtiari, there's
Yeah,
Balaga,
the big
and I'm
boys.
just like, are you fucking kidding
Yeah,
me?
that's
And
cool,
then
man.
I actually get to hang out with these guys for 4 hours, and I had a really good conversation.
Did you do
with-
ayahuasca with Aaron Rodgers?
I wish.
I know it'd be a good trip.
God, man, I wish, man. He's
Start stoning the pigskin. You're all high. Wouldn't that be cool?
I feel like there'd be like I'd hallucinate. There's like some type of like wild bug just chasing me with the football. You know?
Yeah,
It's
it'd be
like,
fun,
I
man.
don't know, man. But he is by far one of the most downloaded. Like, I had a normal conversation with him.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about football.
You know, he's a California kid too. NorCal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
What
NorCal. Chico.
Chico.
Yep.
I don't know all the California names, so I apologize.
Yeah, then he went to Cal, and then that's why he was so pissed during the draft because he thought the Niners were going to take him. And then, I mean, obviously the Packers re-signed him, but he was supposed to go to the Niners, but they couldn't figure it out.
Really
Him on the Niners though, with Kittle.
Oof.
Sorry, Green Bay.
Yeah.
But still, that'd
Yeah.
be filthy.
What years was he playing at Cal? Do you remember? Like
Ooh.
early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
1970. No.
Because I think he might have beat out my buddy went to Cal, Joe Ayub, and was the starting quarterback for a few games and like did well. And
Yeah.
started messing up. And I think Aaron Rodgers might have been the guy who like took the job from him.
Yeah,
I'm not, but the
that's not the
timeline
guy
lines
you want back in your. He's like, this is bullshit. The coach was like, really?
Yeah.
If I was the coach, I'd text him after he won MVP. He was like, remember, you're pissed this guy replaced you.
Yeah.
Right.
You're selling,
There was an interview.
houses now?
Do you remember the interview Rogers did? It was a really quick video. There was like this female reporter, and she's like, "I heard you have like 4 TVs. Why do you need 4 TVs?" Be like, "Well, we're watching movies." Be like, "Oh, can I? Like, what kind of movies?" You're like, "I don't know. You want to come over and watch them with me?" And
Yeah.
I want to know if she came over and watched movies with him.
Hopefully she did.
Right?
Wait, was this a leaked text message?
No, this was
That
like
was just an interview.
Oh,
I've seen this.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
He
about.
was like, it was like one of those like gangster moments where the glasses come over his
Yeah.
eyes
Yeah.
and the cigarette. I was like, oh,
And
fuck.
she was cute.
She was,
Yeah.
she's
He's like,
banger.
you want to come
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
watch a movie on one of the 4 screens?
It was,
I just won MVP for the second time.
he is, it was awesome. I mean, what we talked about, I asked him like, what is he like most about Wisconsin? And what he said to me was amazing. It kind of actually, I was speechless. He's like, you guys are just happy with what you have up here. You guys don't try to
Agree.
become rich.
Yeah.
You guys are just happy with what you have. And he's like, where I'm from, it's all about money and fame. And
Yeah.
it kind of rubs you raw a little bit, you know? And
Yeah, where he's from in NorCal, I can see that. Yeah.
I had a guy in here yesterday. He was from Oxnard, Kelly.
Oxnard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oxnard.
Oxnard's nice.
He grew up there, and he's like I told you, he was a behavioral health officer,
Yeah.
and his family immigrated from Mexico back in their late 80s, and it was him and a bunch of like a huge family, 19 people in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Jesus.
Oh.
Whoa.
Right.
When he was growing up.
When he was growing up.
Way too many people.
Yeah, those stories are ridiculous, but they have no choice. It's
Yeah.
like 19 and
But he said back.
It'd also be kind of fun at times if you think about it.
Right.
You know?
Well, if you have to do the dishes once a week, I got 19
Well, it's
weeks. I don't
also
got to do it again.
It'd be fun, but then also exhausting because you can't get everyone's talking. You know what I'm saying? Like even with us on the road, I come with a crew. We call it Thick Boy Crew. So it's like me, Mark, my brother, who's my manager, Big David Lucas, who's legit 400 pounds. Sorry, David. And they have Justin, who's real skinny. So there's 5 of us.
Sure.
But usually we get Airbnbs because I have PTSD from fighting in hotels, so I hate hotels. I can't sleep in hotels. So always get Airbnbs. We're all hanging out in there. But just if there's 5 people, just the frequency of everyone talking. Mark's a chatty Catholic, but then so is my brother.
Right.
So it's like a nonstop podcast.
Right. So sensory overload.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get to my room like, holy shit.
But also this is like Brendan's trying to prepare to go on stage, and we're just like, we're hanging out, you know. So like normally,
it's a fun time. It's the best though.
Right.
Don't get it twisted. I have the best gig in the world.
So is this your guys' first time ever Wisconsin?
No, I've been to Milwaukee, and that's it. I went to Milwaukee, I think 3 years ago, and it was cold as hell outside.
What month? Do you remember?
Had to be November. I'm there again this November.
Okay, well, November's not that cold.
Oh, really?
No.
And now I'm from Denver, dude.
Okay, yeah, you went to University Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, but I'm born and raised in Denver, so I grew up with snow.
Aurora, Colorado.
Aurora, yeah, super hoodie. Yep, we're known for shootings. Anyways, it's so I grew up in the cold. I think I would never live anywhere where there's a winter now. Never. Hated icing off my car. Hated driving it. People are morons driving.
Right. Mark, where are you from?
California.
Oh, just born and raised.
Pretty much born and raised, with little time spent in Oregon, but moved. Most of my family's rooted in Northern California. So my mother and father were like San Francisco residents, and you know.
Wow.
And your mama lives in what county now?
In Marin County, so right above like she has.
That's a sweet area.
Yeah, 4 sisters, and they're all kind of like loosely in the Bay Area. So I would consider home the Bay Area now. That's where I go visit, and most of my family's there.
When someone asked me, he's from NorCal.
Yeah, and it's all you know.
I've never been to California. Never been there.
We gotta get you out there.
Always flown over. When I got home from Iraq 2 weeks later, I was on a KC-135. It's one of those refueler planes that refuel planes in midair. Have you guys ever seen those?
Yeah, they have like the Avatar antenna that comes out.
Yeah. So we took one of those from Milwaukee all the way to Honolulu. And
so you pass over Cali.
I saw the Golden Gate Bridge. I have a Golden Gate Bridge picture at 37,000 feet. So that was the only time
when you were passing over, did they make you wear a mask? Just as you're passing through the state?
Make sure don't you need a passport to go to California?
Newsom gets on the cans and make sure you're wearing masks.
Yeah. United Utopia.
You get shot out of the sky if you don't wear one.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome to see such awesome individuals like you guys yourself come to Wisconsin, because growing up here, it always felt like we were like a kind of a flyover state. Like we don't really get a whole lot of like big name concerts or stand-up comics. Like I really feel kind of like we're kind of short staffed here. Like I grew up in a single parent household. Like my mom raised me and my brother, 7 years difference.
What happened to your dad?
And, I've never met him. He abandoned my mom and I in South America.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah, turd.
Yeah, you missed out, Dad. Can you imagine? Like you have kids. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have kids. I have kids.
This daughter.
Yeah, so you have one daughter. I have 2 boys.
Okay.
Can you imagine what sort of fucking narcissist sociopath? How you're wired that you can walk out on those fucking kids. Imagine doing that.
I don't even like.
Imagine living with yourself. Like he's waking up right now. After you're a good dude, you're killing it. You're disciplined. Like you made a living for yourself. Like imagine him seeing you like, fuck. Dude.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, man. Like you missed out on the best thing in your life. You moron.
Yeah. I don't even like.
Sorry, I called your dad a moron.
No, go right ahead.
You don't know him though. So I felt like it was.
I know his name. He's not even on my birth certificate. And I always try to search for him here and there. You know what I mean?
What ethnicity are you?
So my dad's mom is from India. He's from England. And then my mom's family's from Germany and Ireland.
Yeah, you're a weird mix.
Dude, that's a good
you look like Dominic Sue's like little brother. Have you heard that?
No, someone told me one time I look like a white Forrest Whitaker. One time, and I was like, I don't know about all that. Like Forrest
Whitaker.
I mean, I take the compliment. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, but I wouldn't refer to him as handsome. Forrest Whitaker, and he has the sniper eye too. He has the one eye kind of shut. I mean, let me show you Dominic Sue. So it's spot on, dude. You're Dominic Sue.
This is one of Brendan's
gifts,
premier talents.
It's a shitty gift, dude.
Kind of like finding your doppelganger.
Yeah. He does it for everybody. And
who's your doppelganger?
Oh well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, I get Fabio probably 1,000 times a year. I don't think I look like Fabio. It's just the long hair, but
There we go. What do we got?
That's funny that you like these are. We've compared him now to two black guys.
Dominic Sue's like, but he's like he's mixed. His name's Dominic Sue. So it's not like his name's Tyrone. Like he's clearly mixed.
I know the player. Yes. I was just
he's a badass.
He is, but he's also really mean. Like he does not like Aaron.
No, you're the nice one.
I'm the nice one.
He stepped on Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yeah. He's a dirty player.
Yeah, he's on all the steroids.
He's effective. But
my God, he's good. Yeah. Well, he won a fucking championship, dude.
Yeah, he's effective.
Yeah, baller.
To answer your question about fatherhood, like I don't even like when I go to the gym and I have my girlfriend watch my daughter because my girlfriend's not my daughter's mom.
How long you been with her?
3 years.
Okay.
And so like when I go to the gym and I'm gone maybe an hour, I feel like a piece of shit leaving my daughter, like just going to the gym.
No, I hate myself when I'm on the road. Like I have to. And I have a therapist that I talk to about, but I'll go into some dark places being on the road, not with my kids. I feel like a scumbag.
It's just for some reason, becoming a parent really you learn how to prioritize things. And the thing I tell people, like my buddy was here yesterday, my other buddy Ben, he just had a baby like a couple weeks ago, and I told him I was like, man, being a parent, you get a blank canvas, and you get to paint it however you want.
You can lie to him and shit.
Right.
Like Dad played 9 years in the NFL. I think I know what I'm talking about. He's like, but they have the internet now. He's like, I Googled it. You had a cappuccino with the Buffalo Bills. He's like, I played as much as you did. I'm like, fair point, dude. Right. I've been lying to you.
Right. No, it's fatherhood's awesome, man. And my dad, it is what it is. But I mean, growing up,
his loss, man.
It absolutely 100%.
Now, if you suck, like a bad person, it's like, Dad got this one right.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer's dad. If he would have left, you'd be like, good choice, dude.
From Wisconsin, Wisconsin native.
That's why I referenced it.
Wisconsin native. Jeffrey Dahmer's dad actually wrote a book called The Father's Story, and I read it in high school. I had a really badass English class called Horrors of Literature, and we got to read horror books or books about murder and stuff like that in this class.
That's dope.
And it was a great class.
I have my master's degree in serial killers,
dude. I'm
obsessed with it.
If you guys are free, we can always drive. We're only at 45 minutes from Stephen Avery's farm. Remember the Making a Murderer?
Do I ever?
You can just go get
Brendan Dassey.
45 minutes away, bro.
Yeah, I was telling Mark this when we were flying in here, and I say it on stage at Appleton. I start with saying, famous people from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I said, because I do this bit called Green Room Diaries. So whatever city I'm performing in, the challenge is when I touch down and I get to the green room, I write a bit just for that city that I'll do Thursday night. And then Mark hires a videographer for us, and then I'll go back home, punch it up Thursday night, do both shows Friday, and we film it on Saturday, then release it the following week. So for Appleton, small place, right? Small place. So I had to increase the radius to just famous being Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And the first thing that popped up was Stephen Avery, Brendan Dassey, and Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. So I was like, game on.
Don't forget about Ed Gein.
Again, a lot of serial killers come out.
I'm telling you, man.
Nothing to do.
Now I think I understand why nobody comes to Wisconsin. It's just like it's
bad. But to bring it back full, so you also have J.J. Watts from here.
J.J. Watts from here.
T.J. Watt, baller.
Heather Graham, actor. Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
Chris Farley.
That's right, Chris Farley. That's right, dude.
Yeah.
You have some badasses out of here.
We do.
Danica Patrick.
Danica Patrick's from
Yeah,
no,
dude.
No.
Yeah, terrible driver. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I grew up watching stand-up comedy because I wanted to kind of not disappear, but I wanted to escape my reality and listen to comics. And I grew up watching the first. I'm sure there was other specials that I watched, but the first one I ever remember like fully that I can like recite was Kevin James's Sweat the Small Stuff.
Here's the thing about Kevin James. So him and Rogan are best friends. They're very close, and Kevin lives in Florida.
Okay.
And him and Rogan are super close. Kevin James, people know him from Kings and Queens of Comedy.
Yep.
When he was just doing stand-up, the room would sound like an earthquake. He was such a good monster. You mentioned him. I think he's here next weekend or this weekend.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he's got at the PAC downtown.
Yeah.
Oh,
is that a different venue than mine? Or?
You're at Skyline.
Oh, that's right. Much smaller. Yes.
Yeah. So PAC right.
He's way more famous. That's right.
I mean,
I was just double checking.
I'm not responsible for that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Me neither.
I'm not responsible.
Yeah.
Next
Kevin
time you
James
come,
a monster.
Next time you come, get the PAC.
Yeah. How many does that seat though?
Thousands. Pretty sure. Look, you can look it up.
I think
Performing Arts Center.
I think the entire population of Appleton is going there.
Well, they had like Hamilton there. They had
what's it called?
The PAC, the Appleton Performing Arts Center. But so Kevin James's was like, I remember that very vividly. Like I can remember everything about his, that I can recite it. Like I remember the jokes, and then it was awesome because like, you know, single kids, and it's just like, man, it's like, I love laughing. I love listening to funny stories. Oh, and then on top of it, it was just like, man, some of this stuff it's kind of inappropriate as a kid, but I'm like, I don't care. I was exposed to it. And then you develop this different sense of humor, and you know what I mean? And
because the limits are on when you're a kid as far as what you can say and what and you consider those hard boundaries with consequences. And then when you hear somebody else, it really does open up your mind to like, you can talk like that and people like it.
Right. I feel like I grew up a little bit though too. I think I matured a little differently watching comics. You know what I mean? And you know, Kevin James, and then I found Robin Williams' 2000. What was it?
That's what did it for me, Robin Williams.
Oh man, what was it?
Weapons of Mass Destruction?
No, it was like, I think maybe it was. It was like that. The stage was like, looked like sticks, and he comes out and he's like, "Do you like my setup? If this is the last thing a clitoris sees," or something like that. Like, you remember, like, this is gonna be Shakespeare with a strap on. You know what I mean? Like, that was the one I was like, man, this is intense. Like, this is awesome. And he's sweating like he's like a whore in church. Like,
he's
like,
my favorite, man. Robin. So I grew up. My mom was obsessed with Robin Williams, like obsessed. So I grew up like the biggest Robin Williams fan. So growing up in Aurora, Colorado, predominantly black neighborhood. So the way you got kind of attention was being good at sports, and thank God I was athletic, so I made friends through sports. But my goal was always to be a comic, to be like Robin Williams, and really the goal is to be on Saturday Night Live. So my mom, we'd watch Robin Williams all the time. Then he was famous back then with all the movies, so we'd watch those. I mean, we'd go opening night. My mom was obsessed with Robin Williams, and then every Saturday, no matter what I had going on, till damn near high school, me and my mom would watch Saturday Night Live. My mom's really funny. It's where I get my humor from, is my mom for sure.
Really?
My dad's a savage. So we'd watch Saturday Night Live. So the goal, and still is to host Saturday Night Live. That's the goal.
I'm sure you'll get there. You're gonna get there.
We'll see
after this podcast.
This might do it. This might do it. Yeah. And then I'll play. Then I'll just play whatever venue Kevin James is performing.
I comedy. Like I said, I actually tried to do it in high school, and I got kicked off stage my second year. I made it was. I
said the N-word?
No. I said something to the effect of like, man, I like going to high school because like, it's like kind of like the teachers kind of like parents. You know, they work at a desk and then they complain about their kids or something like that. And like the teacher, the drama teacher, took it as a sexist joke. It was sexist because I was comparing.
That's what did it, huh?
I was comparing the fact that like, it was really I don't remember the exact wording, but she actually came on stage during my performance.
This is here?
No, this was Waterford, Wisconsin.
Oh, I was gonna
yeah. So the first
they
year,
don't stand for that kind of censorship in Appleton.
I know. Yeah, they don't stand for that censorship in Wisconsin. I was gonna say, did you grow up in Portland?
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's maybe.
But this is like the school system's different.
Well, remember this was like 04, 05, and then I did it 1 year prior, and I took a mixture of, and like I let everybody know like these aren't mine. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to pretend these are my jokes, right? And I like Dennis Leary. I loved Dennis Leary growing up. But then the second year I tried to make my own, and then the teacher was like, "You got to go. You got to apologize in front of everybody."
That's ridiculous. That also hinders your ability to.
And I walked away.
That.
Never did
Way
it again.
to go, teacher.
Yeah.
Know, right?
Who's worse, that teacher or your dad? What are we doing here? You know what I'm saying?
I think they're equally both.
Yeah, they both suck.
But it is about control. And I used to work and I used to teach tutor sub. So one of the big turnoffs of a school environment is it's a female-dominated environment typically, and a lot of the instincts they have are to be like, we need to kind of shut down the boys.
Yeah,
both the employees and the students. Wild, and so like so much of it is about like, ooh, we can't have boys doing that. We can't have boys making jokes. Boys. Yeah, and so I can see that happening, but it's like it's a 100% about this person going like, you are getting the slightest bit out of control, and I don't like it.
I've only heard of it I've only heard of that happening really in California and New York. Though I've never heard of it out here.
And the worst part about it is like not the worst, but my mom came with my camcorder. I thought I was a badass skater back in the day. So I like Thrasher, CKY, all that stuff. And I had a camcorder. I worked at a grocery store, Pick and Save, and I was a bagger. And I saved up all my money for this camcorder, like $500 or $600 when camcorders were a thing. Right?
Which took you like 6 months.
Dude, bro.
Because I was a janitor at a grocery store. It's a nightmare.
I walked into Circuit City, rest in peace, and with like just a wad of cash. And I bought that camcorder. My mom recorded my whole set. But she has the whole thing of my teacher coming on stage and telling me like that was inappropriate, sexist, you need to apologize.
Oh, wow.
It was like, and I watched that and I cringed and I deleted it.
I hope she comes to the show tonight. That teacher comes to tonight and I'm going to light her on fire.
No, she's
I'm going to light her.
What's that
up.
teacher's name?
Miss. I don't want to dime her out. Probably not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm sure you remember it.
I do. I remember it. I remember
not to say it.
She's like district attorney now.
She was pretty odd. I'm pretty sure she's retired. And then you just
and let me guess, not attractive.
No, not at all.
That's how this goes.
Shot in the dark there.
And then I started getting into more comedy like throughout the military, right? And listening to various people. We had Christopher Titus come to Iraq and
he's a monster too.
Scott Kennedy, does that name sound familiar? You guys? Scott Kennedy. He was a Vegas performer. He came.
Well, I know that. I would love to do some of those tours.
USO tours.
I would love to do those, man.
Is it hard for like you guys to get a part of that? Or do they have to come to you, or can you ask? Like, how does that work?
It's a good point. My manager. So my brother's my tour manager. My actual like manager of entertainment. Is Lex McMahon. So he's Ed McMahon's son. But he was in the Marine. He's a Marine.
Really?
And he runs some the A Hero Foundation. That's all him. He
awesome.
Started it. So he's super involved in that. So I'm sure I could go through him.
Yeah. Christopher Titus came over and he did his inner retard act or something like that. I got a picture with him. He held my I had a M4 with a grenade launcher and he held it and he did this
hilarious.
Hilarious to it, right? And I just started getting comedy because I got to escape reality of Iraq, So I think Dane Cook's Isolated Incident album came out.
Monster.
Which was we were listening to that on repeat over there. Which was amazing and just started really kind of diving into it and it was great to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then get away from it.
And then in college, I just random chance found Tom Segura. And then that's how I got introduced to you because I started following social media more.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I was in college and Tom's bit about Stephen Avery is
so good.
So fun fact, my girlfriend actually grew up in Manitowoc County.
Oh, really?
And she works for Calumet County where they moved the court case to.
Hilarious. Hey, let me ask you this.
Sure.
I mean, first of all, Tom Segura, probably top 5 comics touring right now alive. Like Tom's a monster.
I respect
out of our crew. To me, Tom is the best comic.
Be honest with you, I don't really discriminate against comedy. There's some people they're kind of just dry for me. It's just
not your flavor. But to me, comedy's like music.
Sure.
Like, I respect all comics, but when people are like, oh, whatever, his hour wasn't good, or I'm like, that's like saying, like when Drake releases his album, people are like, this sucks. I'm like, it's just not for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't suck.
You like country, and this is rap, and comedy has genres too.
Yeah, but it's all with Drake, it's like, oh, this album sucked. It's like, well, it's number 1 on Spotify, like billions of downloads. So somebody likes it.
No, the whole like sucks doesn't. It's like people should mostly say wasn't for me because. At that level, it's all quality.
Did I say it sucked or I said it was
No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, man, I thought I fucked up.
But no, Tom Segura is a monster. I don't think I'm sure people know he kind of flies under the radar as far as like the big boys, but Tom is a big top 5 doing it.
So I found...
Tom's my North Star.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like
he has his own podcast network.
The two...
Your Mom's House.
Your Mom's House.
He just signed another guy. His comedy and like he's such a good dad too, in his relationship with Christina P. He's such a good person, and he's into cars too. So whenever I get a car, I always text Tom.
I didn't know he was into cars.
Big time.
Really quick, you have a podcast, Below the Belt, right?
The Schaub Show.
The Schaub Show.
Formerly Below the Belt, so it was below. So it was the Big Brown Breakdown, and then when I signed a 6-year deal with Showtime, I moved it over to Showtime, and we renamed it to Below the Belt. And then December of last year, I decided to leave Showtime. They offered me another 5-year deal. And I thought, I can do this on my own. I'll just hire my own staff and build my own network. Heavy Lies the Crown. It's a beast. We're about 7 months into it. It's just, it's awesome, good. It's awesome, but be careful what you ask for. It's a lot. It's a lot. But so we renamed it because Showtime was great. Like most people, when they think of like these big corporations, like, oh, I bet they were off the work. No, Showtime was fantastic to me. And when I left, they were like, what? Because, they don't wait till the last day to go, oh, here's another extended, 6-year deal. 6 months prior to that, they made me the offer to renegotiate for another 6 years. But I just went through all the analytics and the income, and I'm like, man, I just feel like I'm at a point I could do this without you guys.
Right.
And he was like, I get it. I 100% get it. And I said, or I don't have to do it by myself, and this is how much it's going to cost to keep me. And he was like, dude, we can't afford that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try this on my own. And he's like, you can keep everything, like keep the names. He's like, but the suggestion I have for you is I've changed the name because that's associated with Showtime. I went, you're right. So the only thing we kept was Food Truck Diaries, which I created on Showtime, but I did it all under my business name, Thick Boy Inc. So I own all the rights, the name, the creation of the show. So
That's
they let me keep all of it. But it's a beast, man.
Starting
your own network is a beast.
It's super impressive, Brendan. I'm super proud of you guys.
Thanks,
that's
bro.
awesome, dude. That's
Mark's on the network with haters will say.
I saw one of the last videos I watched. It was you leaving the gym, like you making the guy choose between his girlfriend and his workout partner.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's super funny because like people, like I go to a gym called Crunch, and it's you see that like, this is my workout, bro, but then I'm gonna bring my girlfriend, and you spend more time with your bro than your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And the girlfriend's on her phone on the treadmill for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But
that was actually one of the sketches that I never know, because I just fire these off really quick with Isaiah. People seem to be like really responding to that one, oddly, but I get like, you brought it up.
Is that the newest one, Mark?
The newest one, yeah, where it's like me and Isaiah.
Oh, is it the newest one?
It
was like, it came up last in my feed.
Oh, I don't know, but
Okay.
the premise is just his girlfriend's making him like choose her over me, and so we're like having like this breakup conversation at the gym, and then like we walk away and sad music and flashbacks like of us like spotting each other's ass on the pull-ups, and
hilarious.
and then we like run back. I take my shirt off and we're hugging.
It's like that running scene. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so stupid. I'm like, we come up with these things and just like I don't even think about them afterwards, and then some hit and some miss, and people seem to be like thinking this is one of the better
and
ones.
We'll be in some places. Mark had one video, I forget what, something went viral. I don't know, 12 million views or some shit like that.
There's one, again, the stupidest things ever, where it's like a guy bumping me on the street that he says he does this to all these bodybuilders, but I always try to put my spin on these like fake pranks.
Yeah.
And so this guy bumps me in the shoulder, and normally he's like, oh, and I just walk by you. And I'm like, first of all, no dude my size is realistically going to let somebody check them on the street in front of all these people and just be like, huh? So I went and like I ran after him, and like, like we cuts like mid suplex.
It's like body sound, like Rampage or Rona.
And that I think has like 50+ million on his page. And another one, it's always pranks.
So
of me looking
I forget,
stupid,
we're in Chicago or something, and people are like, oh, it just came out and it's viral. And people are like, oh, dude, when they're hitting up Mark, I'm like, hey man. And they're like, hey, big boy, you mind holding the camera, taking a picture? I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Take this picture, thick
boy. It's always TikTok, and also people don't know my name either. They go, you're the guy from TikTok, and I'm like, I don't even use my TikTok account. But another one was like me like freaking out in the gym.
Just
like,
call me Mark.
Yeah, this girl does like this, glue the lid of the water bottle shut and have a big guy open it. And so again, normally like the guy's like, oh, I can't open it. Here it is. And I'm like, let me take this to the next level. So I go absolutely ape shit in the gym. Nobody else knew we were doing this. So you see like in the background, people, looking at me.
Natural reaction.
Yeah. But I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, oh, what is going on with this?
That's so funny.
He has one, I was dying laughing. He has one where there's because, young kids come to zoo culture. It's like a destination. It's like Gold's back in the day where people would fly out just to work out there because Arnold worked out there.
Right.
So Bradley Martin has a huge following in the fitness world. So it's a destination. So people just fly to LA and come to the Valley just to work out at zoo culture. So there's all these people, tourists in there working out. But there's a group of high school kids, and Mark filmed this fucking skit. I was laughing so hard because they're high school kids, and Mark's pretending he's in high school. He's like, 6 more. He goes, I can't believe we're in high school, guys. He's like so big and strong.
What's your guys' high school name? I'm like everybody knows like the JV team at Northwest Pacific High School from South Carolina.
And Mark's like, oh my God, I can't believe we're only 16 guys.
Like,
this is crazy.
We're the strongest seniors in
I was
here.
laughing so.
I'm gonna look so good at homecoming.
Dude, I was laughing so fucking hard.
Oh,
yeah, Mark's an interesting one, man. I met Mark right at the start of the pandemic because we had a mutual friend, Chappelle Lacey, who's a comic, and he used to feature for me on the road. And then now he's headlining his own shows. You know, he's the baby bird, and he's flapping his wings, making money now on his own. So, but Chappelle and I used to work out at Zoo. And zoo's about a mile from my house, and I didn't know. And so during the pandemic, all the LA was North Korea, so we couldn't do shit, right? So Chappelle goes, "Hey, people keep tagging me because I'm not on social media. I don't have social media. If people run it for me, I'll check in, but whatever. I don't see anything."
Thanks for replying to me though.
Yeah, of course.
I slid into your DMs, dog.
Yeah, because you're a veteran. So my whole family's military.
I didn't know that.
Whole I come from a military family. Yeah.
Like you mentioned something about Brendan with military, but I had no idea.
Both grandpas, one Army Marine, dad. My father's in the Navy. My uncle Charlie was a Marine for 20-something plus years.
Wow.
My other uncle, like head guy, general, and so it's deep in my family. So I was supposed to go.
It's in your DNA.
Yes, but so I respect the shit out of it. I don't think people give back. So I don't know what I can do for you guys. My way of giving back, like if you weren't a veteran, I'm not a dick. I would not be here. You know what I'm saying? Like
I get you.
How many times you see me do podcasts? I talk for a living. I have to perform tonight, but this is the least I can do, dude.
Even if you and I just got
your
a panini,
service.
Oh man, that means a lot to me. Even if we would have gotten a panini, I would have been happy, bro.
Yeah, I've been pissed at the panini, but sure. So Mark's an instrument because, like I said, I met him through our mutual friend Chappelle, and me and Chappelle working out. I've been in weight room since I was 5. I know my way around the weight room. I love working out, and Chappelle wanted to get in shape, so I go, all right, meet me at this gym. He goes, yeah, there's this gym up the street from you, man. And they're refusing to shut down during COVID. Everyone keeps tagging me because they know you don't see social media. So they're tagging me so you see it. And I go, what's it called? He's like, it's Zoo Culture. I'm like, I've never heard of it. Sounds ridiculous.
Sure.
And he's like, no, they're open, man. I'm telling you, some famous guy owns it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I drive up there and I walk in. I'm like, oh, this is utopia. This is fantastic. I go, you're open? And Bradley Martin was working the front desk. Me and him have never met each other, and it was like that Spider-Man meme where they're like pointing at each other.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, you're Brendan Schaub. I was like, what's up, man? And he was like, oh, cool. I'm Bradley Martin. I had no clue who he was. He's just this big dude. He's like Mark size, maybe a little thicker.
Oh, he's very,
and he's very strong, like handsome dude. So right off the bat, me and him became friends, just bonding over COVID and going through all of it. He's like, yeah, man, work out whenever you want. I'm like, oh, cool. So I worked on my own there. I called Chappelle. I'm like, dude, this place is amazing. Thanks so much. I said, meet me here tomorrow at 9 a.m. He's like, say less. So me and him were working out for a few weeks. And then he knows I don't like when people throw like curveballs or like bring people that I don't know around me. Because it's always someone always wants something. And especially when I want to work out, I just want to work out. So I get there and he's with Mark. And I've never met Mark before. This is like 2 years ago. And Mark's standing there and he's like, oh, my friend Mark wanted to work out with us. I used to work out. He clearly knows his way around the gym. And I was like, God damn it. And then me and Mark is like the Spider-Man meme. Like me and like Chappelle was the side piece. Like me and Mark are basically married now. We have a timeshare together. It's like me and Mark just hit it off. And then since then we've been boys, man, like super close. Then Mark's interesting because obviously he looks the way he looks, but I'm like, I think one of the reasons I'm at where I'm at, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but some of the success I have in life because I surround myself with much smarter people. And I have, really smart friends, but, really, really smart. Mark's top 5 smartest people. Like Mark's smart as fuck, creative, like those bits, those skits he does that go viral.
Yeah.
I don't think people know how hard that is to put content out like that. It's like the creativity, like, you guys might see it as a 45-second clip and like, oh, that's silly.
Probably took him 3 weeks to figure it out.
That's his gift. No. Mark that will wake up that morning and knock that out. Like Mark, he helps me with all my stuff. Like I run ideas, bits by Mark. So anytime you see a Green Room Diary, I do the full bit. So let's say, I forget where we're at in San Diego. I had that SeaWorld bit and the homeless in San Diego. It's like a 9-minute long bit. Oh, I can't post 9 minutes on fucking social media. I send it to Mark. I don't have to give him notes, anything. Mark knows comedy. So Mark will chop it up. So you get the meat of it and the punchline and then send it to me and I okay it. That's
like
how
what,
it works.
45-second video?
Well,
90 seconds.
90 seconds for reels
reel.
because those get pushed a lot more. And, I'll announce it here. Brendan is shadow banned on Instagram. And I confirm this because you'd notice like.
We've known for a long time.
Yeah. He has all these followers and what you look at in the analytics is like how many non-followers you reach. And I can see on other people's pages, it's like, oh, you're reaching 50% of the people this post reached as non-followers. Brendan will reach like 300,000 people and it's like 400 non-followers. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I was just checking, like, if you hashtag something, he doesn't come up in the recent searches. So like,
they won't put me on a popular page.
Yeah, you don't get blast it out to anybody but your own followers. But
even though your own followers in the Instagram algorithm, the new algorithm, which I'm not hating on them for this, do you? But obviously Instagram wants to make money. So the way they make money, so let's take me, for instance. They go, all right, you have whatever, 1.3 million followers. Now, you're not going to reach all 1.3. Our new algorithm, if you want to reach even half of that, even a third of that, you have to pay us now. So if you're going to do a post, you have to boost it in order to reach those followers. Forget people outside your following. Just to reach your own following, you're going to have to pay us. You're talking thousands of dollars, dude, just to boost a post to get to your followers.
Wow.
I can't even do so. If I boost a post, let's say I pay $1,000 to boost it if I'm in Appleton or Ontario or Boston coming up. It won't even reach half of my followers. And you're talking thousands of dollars. So I have a friend who works for Facebook, who owns Instagram. And I emailed him last night. I was like, dude, we've been over this, man. Why am I shadow banned? I don't talk politics on there. I post pictures of my kids, and I post stand-up dates, and then comedy clips and podcast clips. I go, I'm doing nothing here, man. Help me figure this out. What can I do so you guys just allow me to use your...
Leave me alone.
I'm not a, I talk zero politics. I'm not the anti-COVID guy. None of it makes any sense.
Am I going to get canceled now? Because you're
100%.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Dude,
but this is the price you pay. This is the price you pay.
yeah,
But Eddie Bravo, there's Shadow Band and there's Eddie Bravo Band.
yeah.
Eddie Bravo was showing me too. He said this. I
couldn't tag him. Like you guys brought it up.
Yeah, yeah.
I was trying to tag him, but like, what? Like, did he make? Because you can turn that off. But he was like, no, they did it for me.
So
You
there's
can't
Shadow
tag him.
Band and there's Eddie Bravo Band, because he'll talk about conspiracies and the pandemic, this whole scam and all that nonstop. So obviously that's frowned upon with these the people who own it, the left. So he hate to go there, but oh geez, I wonder why he's Shadow Band, Brendan. But he showed me. He's like, "Yo, you've heard of Shadow Band?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Shadow Band." He's like, "Sure, but you can still post stuff and tag you." I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Look at how I get treated, dude." So you can't even find his name, no hashtags. If he tags someone, it doesn't pop up on that. So me and Eddie are boys. If he tags me, it doesn't pop up on my shit. Like there's Shadow Band,
it's all
and
these
then
weird
there's
little things
Eddie
that you start
Band.
taking away. And I understand why I do it, because I have like 40 strikes on my account from calling people pussy and shit. Like I'll talk shit to people on my page just for fun.
That
but,
makes sense.
You're right. I can see I'll dispute it, but it's still like, and it's again, guys talking shit to me, and then they'll report me my comment on my thread for, saying something that violates the terms. But so I have this thing happening where they'll take away like my ability to collaborate posts. Like I see, what one by one features will get taken away.
Right.
But so this is like, it's just like, imagine the app, and then one by one they take things away from you for whatever. I assume it's because he was critical of COVID to some degree, and that's like the number. Because again, it's not like he's posting nudes or swearing or doing all these other like traditional terms of service violations, but you're basically just fighting against it. Now, there's still stuff, and even without boosts, like some of the Green Room Diaries clips have done really well. Your thing of, the fighter and the kid rants about Brittany Griner, gets it huge
Millions.
numbers.
Yeah.
But you have to you're overcoming this weight that they put on you of just not showing up in these hashtag searches to other people. So it's totally dependent on people watching, and then organically one by one sending to other people. So these big posts, it's like, 50,000 shares. That's why it's.
But if I do like whatever a bit and then do hashtag Appleton, there's a whole Appleton group.
Right.
They won't see it. And so I sent this email to my buddy who works at Facebook. I go, my kid pictures, whatever, I don't give it. I post those to show how proud I am of my kids and how much I love them. And that's, they're going to grow up and see that. That's why I'm doing it. I can document all this stuff. Right.
Sure.
So that's that. If those get 2 likes, I don't give a flying fuck. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to comedy, when we start limiting my reach to sell tickets, well, now you're affecting my business.
Exactly.
And then now we have a problem. And it does. So with the COVID stuff, that's the thing. Dude, I had a theater in Chicago. Mark does the Tough Mudders with me. I have a deal with Tough Mudder. I have to run 6 a year, right?
You guys gonna do the stair climb tomorrow?
I hadn't brought that up to you, but it was it's a 9/11 memorial thing. For this thing.
At Lambeau. So you walk up and down all the stairs at Lambeau Field.
And this is my do it because I didn't realize it was at Lambeau. Yeah. We wanted to go see Lambeau.
Yeah,
we're gonna go.
Exercise to this visit.
I mean, you guys like to work out, and I'm saying that's why I wear body armor when I do it. This is my 3rd year doing it.
Oh, I would do it. You can just show up and run.
So I sent you the link to register.
Oh, sick.
And I got a whole group of veterans coming up
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
At what time?
So it starts at 9. The opening ceremony is at 9. My wave starts at 10:20, but there's different waves. And I mean, I'll tell you guys right now, you can sneak into any wave if you want to go.
Well, we do it and run with you. It'd be weird if we just.
It's not a race. It's just.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
neither is Tough Mudder. That's the thing. People think Tough Mudder's a race.
Tough Mudder is great. I did it in 2011 here in Wisconsin.
I'm obsessed with them,
dude, bro. Really quick, I want to talk about something really quick. About the starting business and stuff like that. This isn't my full-time deal. This is I have a full-time job, and I balance this on top of that too.
Which is?
So I help veterans write resumes, help them get employed. I help them teach them how to interview, teach them professional development. I've been helping vets in the state of Wisconsin for 15 and a half years.
That's all great. The things they don't teach anybody in school.
Exactly, pretty much. So like I help them like redo their LinkedIn's, which I do not like LinkedIn at all. I help them like if they need help purchasing like interview clothing, we can purchase them interview clothing for get a job. I collaborated with barbershops to get them haircuts so they don't look like a bag of ass going into your interview.
And I'm so that's what you do.
That's really cool.
Full time.
So I worked for the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs. I worked for the DOD, the Pentagon, helping veterans with employment, and now I work for a nonprofit.
So here's how I can help. So any of those veterans going on job interviews that need suits or whatever, text me. I'll pay for their suit, whatever it is. Just text me like, hey, this guy needs a haircut. This guy needs a suit. I'll cover all that. Yep.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Cool.
That's really nice of you.
Yeah, and we can figure out how many we can do them. I don't know how many you deal with, but
it's kind of
all 7,000, Brennan.
So
7,000 suits.
Okay, Men's Warehouse for sure.
And they're from big and tall. 7,000. These are big boys.
I cover the entire state of Wisconsin for my full-time job. I mean, if I'm trying to figure out how to make this my full-time job because of the impact that I'm making. This is more than a podcast, guys. This is I have people come in and we talk. We have just casual conversations. I have a crazy story to tell you here in a little bit. You're gonna blow. It's gonna blow your mind. But this is more than a podcast in the essence. Like, so Ben Shot, I actually created a program where I bring veterans in from around the state. We feed them, they learn how to make their own glass, and they get to network with other veterans. So we call it vet working, where it's kind of like networking but vet working.
I love that. Yeah. Again, my manager Lex does a lot of stuff to give back, and the way I can come from military family. So if it's whatever, a few veterans a month, you reach out to me like, hey, they need suits, haircuts, just text me. I'll send you Cash App or wire you the money.
That means.
But when I don't know who you've had on here, but I deal with this all the time. People are like, oh yeah, hit me up, man. I'll make sure whatever. I'll do 20 minutes on your show, and you just don't hear from them. I'm not that guy.
Sure.
You 100%, dude. From moving, what are we in September? So starting today, hit me up.
If you guys would have just came on and said, hey guys, how you guys doing, and left, I would have been happy as a clam. But the fact that you guys are sharing time with me, but this the podcast is derived from my over 15 and a half years traveling the state helping veterans. Like, you name it, I've seen it. I mean, there was a veteran not a couple weeks ago. He texted me. He's just like, hey, I'm gonna eat a bowl of beans. And that was code for putting a gun in his mouth. And I called him on a Sunday.
Why do they call it bowl of beans?
It was something he made up, I think. I'm not really sure.
I was like, is that a term?
I'd never heard of that term.
Like there's a better...
Right. I mean, I've met veterans.
Something to mind.
I've met veterans at the lowest point of their life, but also I've met veterans at the highest moment of their life, right? And I created this because in our community, there's a lack of information, right?
Agreed.
There's a lack of information.
And resources,
like,
right. My thing, I don't mean to interrupt you. My thing is with veterans, like them serving time in Iraq and sacrificing their health, their livelihood, their families, for them to do that, come back and not be compensated for the rest of their life. I don't give a fuck if it's 4 years, 8 years, 12, however long they do it, for them not to be taken care of by our government.
Right.
And then you're going to send billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight their war, but you won't take care of our fucking troops? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Right.
It's insane. And my father-in-law was a cop for 30 years. 30 years. He retired. I'm like, dude, off to the races, 30 years. I bet you're going to be hooked up. He's like, no. He told me how much he makes now. Now he retired. So he gets half of his salary. Half of his salary, which they're not, compensated very much as it is.
Right.
Half of 30 fucking years defending the streets of Los Angeles. Los Angeles, dude.
That's
half of his salary. And the reason he had to retire is because one of the programs, they got defunded because, these woke liberals wanted to fund them. So they get defunded. And then he had a interaction with an individual who was on meth and had a gun and just started firing and ran into the middle of the highway and got hit. And he was like, this job, and he's like the best grandpa ever. And he was like, oh, I have a responsibility to my grandkids not to keep doing this. So after he literally stopped working after that day, he was like, I'm out, man. And then I didn't know how it works. I was like, 30 years, you're set, dude. And he was pretty high up.
Right.
And he was like, I'm not set, man.
Really?
It's nuts.
And to your point though about the sending money where it should be stay home, recently, if you watched it, Jon Stewart was all over the news about the PACT Act and trying to pass the stuff for toxic exposures like the cancers. Unfortunately, tonight after this podcast at 4, I have to go to a funeral for my buddy that just passed away the other day to cancer, stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He's a local guy. His name's Dominic Hall. He passed away due to his exposure to radiation at the Fukushima. Something like that, some radiation, and so they were in that.
And who takes care of his family, his wife and kids?
So there's going to be benefits coming from him from the federal government, but unfortunately, with that PACT Act, there was that senator that came up there and was like, "Hey, I request a no vote on the community care. Community care is the ability to go to private providers." And he requested, he's like, all the veterans I talk to don't want to go to private facilities. They want to go to the VA. And I watch this guy. I'm like, that's a lying sack of shit. Yeah, that's the biggest fucking shit. I've been doing this for 15 and a half. I've met and worked with thousands of veterans. Not a single one of them has ever told me, man, I don't like going to a private physician 5 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, the top one in the state.
Thank
Instead
you.
of showing this general fucking doctor.
Right.
But also, obviously because my family's so closely tied to the military. The other thing I can relate to is when you dedicate 4 years of your life to something and you have to be all in. So if you're a Marine, Navy, Army, Air Force, you have to be all in, man. And your life is on the line.
Right.
So you develop a set of skills. You develop a discipline that you can't get anywhere else.
Right.
Anywhere else, man. Right. And you have these set of skills, a special set of skills that are very elite and that nobody else has, and you have this bond, and clearly you're a team player, otherwise you're not going to make it in the military. So you realize how to deal with different personalities. So they have this certain set of skills they can't get anywhere else. They dedicated 4 years of their life to this, and then they get done. So it's very similar to sports, and I've been in this dark valley where I dedicated my life to football, and then they go, we're done, dude. The ride's over. Get off the ride. And you're like,
we don't need you.
Yeah, we don't need you.
Right.
We're good for whatever reason. Maybe your leg got blown off. Maybe your eyes got taken out. Whatever. Right. In football, maybe you're just not good enough. But
too many injuries.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
They go, we're all set, buddy. You're like, oh, cool. So I'm gonna get off this ride, and then should I just hop on that ride? They go, I don't know. Find another ride. You're like, but where's even the next theme park?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. Yeah. You figure it out.
We wish you the best of luck.
Yeah. So you're in this. You have this special set of skills that civilians don't have. And it's clearly an elite set of skills. To me, it's mind-blowing that there's not, and there are, we just have to focus on it, that there's not enough smart people in America to go, all right, what can we do with these guys who served in the military with this set of skills? What can we do to give back to them? Because you have to be all in, just like sports. The UFC, same thing, right? Down the UFC, thank fucking God I had Brian Callen and stand-up comedy and podcasting. Thank God is my calling. But a lot of guys don't find it. Even the NFL, everyone deals with this. So when I hear veterans that are like, yeah, I got done, I'm not, what am I going to work at Walmart? I was a sniper, motherfucker, in the military, defend these guys.
You know how often it happens?
And a damn good one.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, that's impressive. And he's like, yeah, I drive Uber, bitch. It's like, what? So to me, there's a similarity there. Obviously, sports and military, it's completely different. One's risking your life. But you are dedicated to this one aspect of your life where you're all in, and then you're not getting compensated when you're done.
Right.
So that valley of figuring that out that's the similarity between professional athletes and the military, trying to figure that out, man.
Right. We call it the transition. Everybody goes through a transition. So you went through a transition leaving professional sports and professional fighting. Mm-hmm. I went through a transition leaving the military and trying to find my next purpose, my next passion. Mm-hmm. With this, what I do here through this office and the people that I work with all on that wall, Wheels for Warriors Foundation, we call veterans, first responders, and firefighters, and we give them free tires and rims throughout the country.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude, you make people's day when you give them free tires. Tires are fucking expensive.
Yeah. Like, tires are getting up there. They're cheaper now than when I was a kid. Like 20-inch tires used to be like $2,000. Now they're, because more common, but I hear you.
But we go through a transition and we're trying to help each other. And on top of it, like you mentioned UFC. I mean, what was it? You were 15 fights, over 25 fights, right? 25 fights?
Shit. Let me think. So
you were 15 and 10, right?
How dare you? I had three. How dare you? Let's go through this. So I had or maybe 4 fights before I went to the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
I had 3 fights on the Ultimate Fighter, so that's 7. Fought Roy Nelson, that's 8. My first real UFC career, Chase Gormley, 9. And then I fought Chris Tusher, 10. Gabriel Gonzaga, 11. Crow Cop, 12. Big Nog, 13. LeVar Johnson, 14. And then Matt Mitrione would be 15. And then Travis Brown, 16. And I lost to Travis Brown, Big Nog, Roy Nelson. Oh, Andre Arlovsky, so that's 17 fights. So I lost, was that 4 fights? Oh, still 5. 17. So that would make me 12-5.
Well, Wikipedia is fucking wrong. I shouldn't have trust Wikipedia.
No.
But fun fact, this is my exciting story about UFC.
So I went through my entire record there, but
No,
I
that's
haven't
fine.
done
That's
that in
fine.
10 years.
I apologize. I should have fat checked.
Turned off. Did you hit something?
No, I didn't.
Or like it went from.
How's that better? Is that any better?
It's just in one ear. It's fine either way. I saw your hand. No, it's fine.
Sorry, but try. Is that any better?
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, buddy. So you familiar with Smiling Sam Alvey, right?
Oh, yeah.
Went to high school with him.
Yeah, he's from out here, right?
He's from Waterford, my hometown.
Yeah, that's right.
I graduated high school with his brother.
Interesting about Sam Alvey.
He was on the podcast.
He's a really good dude. Really nice guy.
Really nice guy.
So his wife was in America's Top Model or whatever.
Yeah, next Top Model.
They have like 9 kids or some shit. They live on a ranch and shit. He's just a wild boy.
He's awesome.
He's interesting because this is funny. He brought up Sam Alvey. So Sam Alvey was on The Ultimate Fighter 14. I was a coach on The Ultimate Fighter 14. And Sam had all this experience. So me and the coaches decided to pick him early. And for whatever reason, and this is why the Ultimate Fighter's not make it or break it. If you don't do well in the Ultimate Fighter, it doesn't mean you can't fight in UFC.
Right.
But he just didn't do well in that environment, and he was very weak-minded. So he was saying he had this injury, and we're like, does he have an injury? So I was like, that kid's not gonna make it, man. There's no way that kid's not gonna make it. And he really didn't do much on the Ultimate Fighter, and then gets into the UFC. You know. The longest losing streak of all time, beat out BJ Penn, but still, you look at his fights; they're always fun, they're always entertaining,
right?
Right,
and he held his own.
Yeah,
him and his brother were some of the nicest people I ever grew up with, and his brother Shane is about, I think you brought about your height, about 6'3", 6'4",
yeah,
and
6'4".
just a meaty guy, and we'd be on kickoff. For football, and I just get behind.
You were wedge busters or what?
We headhunters.
Yeah.
So
me too.
And I just get behind Shane. Shane would just kind of just clear the path for me,
kamikaze,
and I would just go full bore on him. And but it was awesome to kind of. And I didn't know Sam went to the UFC, and then all of a sudden I'm like sitting in front of my team, like Smiling Sam Alvey. I'm like, Sam Alvey, what the fuck? And I quickly just hop on the computer. I'm like, oh shit, that's Waterford. That's our boy.
Yeah, man.
And I was just it was the craziest thing.
I was blown away because seeing him on the Ultimate Fighter, I'm like, this kid's not tough. And then you see him, you're like, oh, he's one of the toughest to ever do it.
Yes,
like I was way off.
Yes.
And he's a stud.
He's nice. I got him on
legit, genuinely nice guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he was on the podcast during the quarantine. I reached out to Shane, told Shane, hey, can I get him on? And he reached out. He helped me get him on, and we did a virtual podcast.
And does he live out here, or is he in Nashville? I know. I was watching him on. It was something like Embedded, or they did some special maybe on ESPN on Sam.
Yeah.
And they were showing his family, and like he has goats and shit.
I think he's in Tennessee. I could be wrong.
I think you're right, because I'm saying Nashville, but probably Tennessee. I think you're right.
I think,
but he's on like a ranch with like 9 kids and his 9-piece wife.
Yeah.
They're just humping all the time.
I don't know about that. I didn't know, and I didn't know if you knew this either, but last summer, because I'm a huge archery guy. I love archery. I've been getting into archery the last 2 years. I'm a part of HHA Sports, which they make archery sights, archery arrow rests, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And last summer we had an archery event right up the road, 10 minutes up the road at an archery range.
Tell me Cam Haines shut up.
No, Tim Silva.
Oh, Tim Sylvia?
Yeah, I got a picture with him. He shot my bow and everything.
Now, Tim is from Iowa, I think.
He is. Yeah. He doesn't live too far from John Dudley.
Have you ever seen Tim Sylvia?
Yeah, I have an image of him in my head, yeah.
Maniac.
So, Tim Sylvia, this is the crazy thing about Tim Sylvia. Tim Sylvia in his prime, I don't, like, Francis Ngannou ain't beating him right now. I'll tell you that right now. He'd be champ right now. So, Tim Sylvia, legit, 6'9", 6'8".
6'6".
Huge. He's fucking
massive.
Knockout power. Can't take him down.
I bring up
great. Used his reach.
Yes.
Savage dude.
Just a brick shit house.
Giant head.
Brick.
And just came from that Pat Militich camp. Like they were just So him, Robbie Lawler, Matt Hughes, Pat Milicic, just some dude. Sean Shirk came out of there, like just fucking savage.
Here you go.
Him in his prime.
Last year.
Yeah, still doing the damn thing. Massive dude.
I outshot him on the range, and he knee kicked me in the thigh, and that hurt really bad.
Such a stud.
He's another really nice guy. Look at the size of that paw compared to my face. Just
yes, dude, in his prime, dude, bro.
He was.
I don't, you know.
How many times did he fight Arlovsky, Andre? Two or three times?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Those were battles. Those were straight just.
And now think about Andre Arlovsky.
Vehicular
still
warfare.
Fighting.
Yes.
Just won another fight.
Yes.
Still doing They keep throwing these young lions to get him out of there. He just won't leave.
Right.
I fought him, beat him, but they fucked me over with the judges in Vancouver. He was in. Me and him used to train together.
Sure.
And the funny story about Andre Arlovsky is, I drink so much coffee, and then even back then I drank so much coffee. Like I would joke, but I was kind of serious. I was like, "Can I get an IV of coffee? Like, can you just give me an IV of coffee?" And they're like, "Absolutely not. That's ridiculous." Right. So I drink so much coffee, and then I flew out to Jackson's to train to get ready. I forget, maybe Crow Cop. I forget who it was. And so me and Andre Arlovsky were the main training partners. So sure. this was the crew. It was Andre Arlovsky. I forget these two brothers. One's in prison and one was killed. They're wild as fuck, super wild.
Wow.
But
sounds wild. If
they're
one's in
wild.
prison.
And people know, if you're balls deep in hardcore, you know who I'm talking about. But the one that passed away, he was they're both heavyweights, and one made it to the UFC, the other didn't. But the one brother, so it'd be me and Andre Arlovsky, and we would play rock paper scissors. Who would have to do the first round with the crazy guy? And I couldn't figure it out because he was shredded. He looked like Mark, but taller. Was good at everything.
Right.
And his cardio was nutsos.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure. Back then, I was just naive. I didn't know what was going on. And he's, it's training, and this is frowned upon in training. He's throwing knees, jumping knees. He's threw like 30 spinning back fists, back elbows. I'm like, he's like the Tasmanian devil, dude. Nobody's gonna beat this guy. And I get out of the octagon. And I'm looking at Arlovsky, and I'm like, dude, his cardio. And I was known for my cardio. And I'm like, the fuck, dude? What is he on? And he goes, he's on cocaine, brother. I'm like, of course he is. That makes sense. So every morning we play rock, paper, scissors. We had to do the first round with him. And then I remember I was training with, this is Arlovsky. So I was rushing. I was late, and it was sparring day. And John Jones is there, so you got to have your shit together. So it's me, Arlovsky, John Jones, the cocaine heavyweight, and his brother, who were savages. And we'd rotate in on John. John would stay in, we'd do Shark Tank and rotate in on him. Ugh. John never lost a round. That's how good John is. So people are like, oh, you're always on John's nuts. I am, because I've seen it firsthand, and he's even better now. I saw it firsthand. Andre Arlovsky, me, I'll name some other guys who wouldn't like it. Monsters. And John would stay in continuous rounds, and we were fresh. He beat the shit out of all of us, and we're all heavyweights. At the time, he was light heavyweight.
Right.
Dude was out all night before, barely any sleep, beat the shit out of us. Yeah. So people are like, God, you love John. I'm like, oh, you don't understand.
He was just
so like, you think he's gonna do well at heavyweight? I'm like, you don't understand.
Right. He's obsessed. Been doing this. He was obsessed with what he could do.
He's a savage. Yeah. So I was rushing late to spar with those monsters, and I didn't brush my teeth. And so me and Andre Arlovsky are like grappling. I go, dude, I'm so sorry about my breath, man. I was rushing. And he goes, it's better than shit like yesterday. I'm like, oh no, that was coffee breath. He's all, still better. I'm like, all right, dude. Well, this is shitty coffee.
I wouldn't want to piss off Andre.
He was great though, man. Good dude. Always had his pit bull by the octagon. He's a great dude.
What do you think of two things? I've been dying to ask these questions really quick. Is one, what do you think of the Jake Paul Anderson Silva thing coming up? And my opinion from the outside perspective, right? Because I'm not in that inner circle, gentlemen. You know what I mean? I'm just a everyday working American, right? What I see this stuff is, I feel like it's kind of just a giant marketing scam for them to get paid. I really don't feel like. I mean, Tyrone Woodley got. I mean, did he take a fall?
No.
Or was that a legit?
Yeah, I know Woodley really well. Yeah.
I know you do it,
and Jake. I know Jake well too.
I'm not trying to disrespect anybody.
I can see how people think that, and obviously the internet to go wild with that stuff. But in regard, Woodley definitely didn't take a fall. If you know Woodley, he would never do that. They couldn't pay him enough money to take a fall, getting knocked out by a YouTuber. With his legacy, he would never agree to that, ever. So,
right.
People just don't know what animal they're dealing with Woodley there. But with Jake Paul, I think people need to have a different perspective on Jake Paul. So Disney Kid goes to YouTube. He's making, I don't know, $20-30 million a year off YouTube. Jeez. Him and his brother crushing it, right? Him and his brother could play checkers against whoever and make money and sell it as a pay-per-view. But these two, savages decide to get in the arena and decide to do boxing with it. Now, they're two different. So I'll try and win you over on the Logan brothers because they're great people.
I don't have any issues with them. I was just wondering.
As far as the cash grab, so there's Logan who he does go for the fights that are going to be big names. Obviously, he doesn't have a chance to get knocked out. He's making money, but he has so much other stuff going on. He's in the WWE. He's doing all this stuff, movies. He's right. A different animal. He's in entertainment. Jake Paul is a different animal. He's the crazier young brother who has something to prove. Jake Paul wants to be a legit boxer, like legit, credible boxer. So if you see his training, you see the way he moves, his speed, his timing. From my eye, I was a Golden Gloves champion boxer. Like, the guy can fucking box. His timing's good. His dedication's good. Like, he has all the resources to get good. Now, the only way to get good is over time. But for a guy to have 4 fights, and I don't give a fuck if he's fighting Woodley, Ben Askren, those guys have so much more combat experience than even close. Right. So for him to be able to knock those guys out the way he is, you're like, holy shit, we got something here. Now, he came to my show at the Hollywood Improv, and at that time, he was going to call out Michael Bisping. I go, let me talk to you, dude. I said, I know you say you're not trying to get validation from fight fans. I said, which is a lie. But here's what's going on. If you fight Michael Bisping, he has one eye and two fake knees or one fake knee. I go, he's retired. He's doing his thing. He's a personality. He's one of the top analysts, YouTuber now. He's on ESPN. You're not. That's just gonna be a sacrifice. That's not good, dude. He's also tough as fuck, but also
he's so tough.
He's so tough.
He's so tough.
But also, that's not what you want, man. Like, beating a guy with one eye, who gives a fuck? I said, if you want to get validation, go for Anderson Silva. He's like, yeah, but he's older. I'm like, sure, he's older, but he just beat Julio Chavez Jr., who's 50-3 in professional boxing. He beat the shit out of him. So if you can beat him, if you knock Anderson Silva out, I don't care if you're a hater, if you don't like Jake Paul, you think it's a money play, all good. If he knocks out Anderson Silva, you've got to give the guy some credit. Now, that's a big if. Right. Anderson can fucking box.
Right.
So my hats off to him, because I can't believe he's the favorite in this fight. Right. That's insane.
When's Mark going to fight him?
Jake, yeah. Right? I know. Mark's ready to go, man.
He's ready to go.
But you just got to view Jake and those guys different. Online fans say, oh, I see him fight, whoever. Gervonta Davis or Canelo. It's like, he has 5 fights.
Right.
Boxers, the way boxing works, they don't fight anybody tough till they're like 30-0.
I respect what he's doing. I just, you keep hearing the same thing from so many people that, they're getting paid to fall. And if you hear it over and over again, then you start thinking, maybe it's true.
Not
maybe
a single credible accusation.
Right. So that's why
I go, give me one shred of evidence besides your feelings,
right,
which count for fuck all.
Right. So this is why I'm asking you guys, because you guys have a seat at this table. I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have I don't have evidence. I'm just like, hey, like this is your life.
But I still think that's the public's way. We live in this world of tearing people down. Like, that's the cool thing to do. So it's a shame the way social media has gone, and even YouTube, where negativity is what garners attention, not being positive and bringing each other up. What gets attention is, so if I post a thing, that this is the greatest podcast I've ever done, I might get one retweet from you. If I post on, God, just did this show, worst fucking time ever, this guy sucked, he's an asshole, his dad was right, you know what I'm saying? That gets 30 retweets because it's different.
Right.
And the algorithm pushes that. Right. So, of course, people are going to be more wired to gravitate towards the negativity. So when it comes to the Paul brothers, obviously they're killing it, making all the money in the world.
Good for them.
And they don't come from a boxing background. They don't come from the gutters. They come up from a, blue-collar family, and, they didn't grow up tough. So people are like, oh, this isn't how it works. Nope, get rid. That's fake. It's like, it's not. I hate to tell you, it's not. The kid's actually talented. No, that's not real because he has money. No, I know he does. I'm telling you.
Right.
It's not fake. But everyone wants to bring everybody down. I just don't subscribe to it, my man.
I don't subscribe to it either. I was just, you have way more time in the ring and more time in combat action sports than anybody in this building, probably in this zip code, right? And I'm just like, hey, let me ask the subject matter expert.
I'm with
in
it.
front
No,
of me.
but to be fair, like that's the narrative. Is like, oh, Woodley's taking a fall. It's like that's what's crazy. Is like him knocking him out is so crazy. You guys think it's fake,
right?
That's how good he is. You morons.
And I like thinking about it from a logical perspective, just going like, you're an investigator or something like that,
right?
Show me, make the best case to me, and I challenge people to do that, because I'm not a fighter, but it does piss me off when people try to discredit others based on stupid arguments or based on no evidence.
Right.
And the things that they'll come up with is like, look at how he falls, or Tyron Woodley in whatever round it is exhausted, like put his hand down right before. It's like, this is a testament to like somebody being tired, and then Jake Paul being setting up, capitalizing.
And he's also trained that, and he's thrown that punch 1,000 times by now. So
that's the best argument they can come up with. There's nothing behind the scenes. There's no like, I saw a guy with a fucking suitcase full of money handed to Jake.
But on YouTube, like, what's going to get more views if you post Jake Paul's fantastic, check out this timing of the punch of Woodley, or fake. This thing's fake. Look at Woodley taking a fall face down, not real.
Clickbaity bullshit.
That's the word. But again,
but people believe it. People do believe it. Whether or not the content creators, like, they could be insincere to capitalize on those views, but people actually do believe it.
But if you're a content creator, like, they're just a product of it. Because if you're a content creator, and if YouTube said, "Hey, anything that criticizes somebody in a negative way, we're not going to allow you to post." So then it's going to change, and I believe in freedom of speech. But if they say, hey, if you post something negative, it's not going to be on the popular page. It can only reach this amount of limit. But if you post something positive that builds people up, we're going to boost it. We're going to do everything we can to make sure people see it. I guarantee you're going to see a change in the culture where people start making more positive videos. But they don't. They're just like, well, sorry.
And I tried with this show, as I'm usually pretty positive on the show with my guests, and
you're a positive guy.
I had Miss United States on, my friend Mandy, on last year, and she shared her story, and she shared her her passion about mental health, and how literally she went to an army base, and they were introducing her because she has a platform for mental health, right? And like the commanding officer was like, "Hey, this is Miss United States, Mandy. She's gonna come up here and she's gonna talk to you guys about her passion about mental health. And there's counselors here, but if you guys go talk to them, you're pussies." And then she comes on stage.
Oh wow!
Like, how do you?
If you're a comic, you're gonna have the set of tools to light that.
What the fuck, bro? Like, that's awful. The other thing too, I wanted to ask you, because you guys are around comedy all the time, and we talk, we kind of went hard in the paint about stand-up comic, is that from what I'm seeing, is comedy dying? Like, why are they censoring so much comedy? And like remember what did he say? Jamie Foxx, he made a movie that probably isn't going to see the light of day.
Yeah, because he's a Mexican or something, like Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr. as a black guy. Could never make today.
Like, you can never make it.
One of the greatest movies of all time. He won an Oscar for that, I think.
Did he?
He was nominated for it.
I think he was out. Yeah. He did blackface.
But also hilarious. It's so funny, and it's like there's no harm in that. Like, he's not hurting anybody. Right. Like he played it so well. It was ridiculous. Right. It was also a comedy movie.
I know who I am. I'm just a dude playing a dude disguised as another
dude. I'm playing a dude, playing a guy, playing a dude. Yeah.
But
booty juice.
I see so much.
Booty sweat.
But ask a person who would have the opinion that that's problematic or should be censored. I like to get into conversations where I go, walk me through your argument.
But here's the problem, Mark. You're not going to be allowed to.
I know.
Who can do that with?
Right.
Like some chick in the gym who's upset about it, she doesn't make the decisions.
Right.
The ones who actually have power over us, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they go, Right. And you're like, what? And they go somewhere else. You're like, but everybody's here.
But I consider it a powerful minority. I think the cool thing is that, like, most people, the vast majority, are still, I meet people with common sense, and we all think the same things. We all think the ridiculous things are ridiculous and the reasonable things are reasonable. And there is a powerful minority in these tech companies and Hollywood that is pursuing an ideology that I think they're going to realize it's not profitable. That's the thing, is like
they're realizing it.
They're already realizing it, right?
And
the pendulum is swinging, because ultimately these sociopaths don't care about anything except for money.
Right.
But they just made this move that they're like, oh, what if we lean into this direction? And it seemed cool for a little bit, but people ultimately want to laugh and be entertained. And if that's being guided by an ideology, it's never going to work. And we're seeing that in real time.
I guess because I for some reason I see it, and that people are saying, like, there's like this censorship on comedy and what you can and can't do. And I'm just like, you grew up around military and you're around people of many walks of life, especially in the gym. People in the gym have such great personalities and many different walks of life.
Mark also played high school football, college football, so you're in the locker room, so
Right.
you know how guys speak.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was in the infantry. Like the conversations we had, one, probably should never see the light of day. But two, then I see comics on stage talking about this stuff, and I'm just like, that's fucking funny. And then someone else was like, well, that's offensive. I'm like,
Right.
No.
But that's fine. That's not for you. And
It's
it's
exactly.
also, it's not for you. But the people that it is for, you can make a great living doing it. So I think the comics and I've never sacrificed any bit, or I don't think ever. One of the reasons I released this last special, the Gringo Poppy, on my Thick Boy YouTube is because I went to, you can guess who, I went to a number of different ones and they all made offers, but they wanted to take out certain bits I had about Newsom or Garcetti about COVID. It's like, no, these are jokes. Like, obviously I'm not serious,
Newsom's
but
a douchebag.
the worst.
I'm sorry. He's not even
handsome bastard though. That motherfucker.
He looks like a villain in like a superhero movie. He's got like the hair, the suit. And
Perfect. He's perfect.
He's just you're waiting for Superman to just come and just drop a rock on him.
Yeah.
I'm just like, does he not look like that perfect?
Terrible
like
human.
Lex Luthor.
Terrible human.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the lead runner for the Democrats on the presidential ballot. I guarantee it.
He's gonna get crushed by somebody.
Oh yeah, DeSantis. Like, dude, hold my fucking wig.
We had a local guy, the county exec here. He ran for state senate and he got destroyed.
Yeah,
in the
that
polls.
has to be embarrassing.
I was just like, okay, you can disappear now.
Yeah,
like,
you should
and
not-
his
not-
office is like literally across the street from your guys' stand.
Really? Maybe
Yeah.
he needs a pep talk.
Let
Yeah.
me tell you this joke.
But I don't think any like none of the real comics like Bill Burr, Tom, like Segura's a savage. You look at like Shane Gillis, Rogan, Tim Dillon. Like, you look at the guys.
Dave.
Dave, yeah, Dave's there. Dave's very heavy on the transgender stuff. But especially with Tim Dillon's last special, he says the F word. So it's like, they're out there. So this narrative of, comics are censoring themselves, like, well, you're just looking down the wrong hole.
I don't know if I worded it wrong. I don't think comics are censoring themselves. I think people want censorship on comics is what I'm seeing.
And then there's that movement where people will say that, but that's
there's
the
nothing
minority.
back.
But also the problem with that, and that's what these big corporations, like Mark was saying, it's like, but Hollywood and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all of them think, because the noise is so loud by those few, they think that's the majority of how everybody in the United States feel.
Right. And
And then when they put out a product like catering to them and it bombs, like, oh, they're not as big as we thought. Like, no. Most Americans, listen. The gas is an all-time high. They're worried about their children putting food on the table and escaping whatever 9-to-5 job they have.
100%.
They don't give a fuck about your pronouns or some joke. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
what? They're like, what?
Right.
Like, kid, I'm trying to get my kid in fucking whatever school right now. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it must be easy because you're considered an independent comic, right? That everything you do is on your own, under your own name, correct? You don't really answer to anybody. Kind of like what Andrew Schultz did with his special.
Yeah.
Similar
Yeah,
thing. Similar deal.
Yeah.
Because if I'm speaking,
No, you're right.
Okay.
But I was with my first special was Showtime, and I worked with Showtime. So you play that field, even though they were pretty loosey goosey on me. But yeah, now it's all on my own now.
Now it's on your own,
All independent, all thick boy.
And do you foresee that's going to be? Is that always been like that, independent, or is it going to be more of a pattern in the comic realm? More of
I think the more success guys have with it, there's gonna be a pattern. Like, I'm the young chicken doing this thing, but in Schultz, even he had Louis C.K. on. Louis C.K. was the first one to do this.
He's always had a plot. Like, you download some of his stuff, right?
You could get all the seasons of Louis on there. Any
Yeah.
movie he does, you can download it and buy and keep forever.
Right.
His
And
website,
his
which is different than
website.
even YouTube, because YouTube could theoretically still ban you, but if you have your own website, that's much tougher.
But I think we are headed towards kind of that lane where you have your audience, your built-in audience, and you don't want to bow down or censor to anybody. So a lot of guys are doing it there. Now, you have to be at a certain level. I don't think I'm there. I don't think I'm at that level where I can just say fuck everybody and go the Louis C.K. or Andrew Schultz
I think
way.
you are.
I appreciate it.
I do. I really do.
The ticket sales last night, I bet they differ. But no, I'm just kidding. But it's there. I think the problem you could have is young comics might go, oh, I'm gonna go the Andrew Schultz or Louis C.K. or Brendan Schaub way. But it's like, make sure you're at a certain level before you can do that. Like think about Rogan going to Spotify and the backlash he's received. And, Rogan was on network TV for, I don't know, 20 years. Like people forget how big Fear Factor is.
Yeah.
He works for the UFC, which is owned by Disney. So like Rogan is
it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, ESPN. So their deal with ESPN. So the UFC has to answer to Mickey
Disney?
Mouse because Mickey Mouse owns ESPN.
When I get an email, like when I log into the UFC app or ESPN app to watch UFC, it's like, there was a new Disney Plus login from this. I'm like, oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I didn't even realize that.
I'll tell you a story off air.
Yeah.
About Disney. When I say they have to answer them, they do. And obviously, it's Disney. They control the world.
Sure.
So I'll tell you how much of a badass Dana White is when it comes to Disney trying to tell him to do something with Rogan.
Yeah.
And you'll have such a respect for him.
That's
why I don't talk shit about him. I heard that story. I went, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm burying the hatchet. I'm in. I'm all in on the guy.
Like we talked earlier about stand-up comic. I'm always trying to find new stuff and new people, and I thoroughly enjoy it. And before we got into some of the UFC stuff, is that another comic that I found by random chance was Eliza
Schlesinger.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm a grown ass man, and I'm a fanboy by the nth degree with Eliza. She is
savage.
Oh man. And she did the stuff for the troops. She did that show with the troops. One
last comic standing.
She also, I found her, this is probably not a good story, but I found her right after I got dumped by my ex-fiance. Mm-hmm. I got dumped on Christmas Eve of 2012. Dude, it's awful.
Christmas Eve? Could you wait till January 2nd?
2012 was obviously...
maybe December 29th. Like, don't do it. Don't start my new year off dumping me.
Yeah, that was a bad year, man. That was...
Christmas was sad, huh?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was... that was the second time I was going to kill myself. Actually, I had a gun literally in my mouth.
It got dark.
Yeah, it got real dark. Like Dad hit Mom at the dinner table. Dark.
Now, is that the one that?
That's that dark humor.
Yeah, I'll take it. I thrive in this. So is she? But is the one that broke up with you on Christmas Eve? Is that baby mama?
Nope. This was a girl.
Thank God.
Yeah. So. This was actually in Green Bay. I was actually across the street from Lambeau Field. I was going to do it right there in the parking lot.
How dare you disrespect Lambeau Field like that. I know.
Did
you have a cheese hat on?
No, actually, I called my buddy.
And a Brett Favre.
I made a bet with myself that if I called my one friend, he answers, I'm gonna live. And he answered the phone.
Thank God he answered.
Yeah, man. And
shout out to Cricket Wireless.
Shout out to my buddy Blair, my best friend Blair. Friend Blair. Yeah, we were in Iraq.
He's like, I have one bar, but what's up, dude? Y'all. Oh, you have no idea. Yeah, Thank you for answering.
And I called another friend, and I occupied some real estate on his couch for a week to get my affairs in order, and I moved back.
Brother, what over a chick breaking up with you?
That was
the straw on the camel's back.
Well, 2012, if you think about it, I got out of the military in 2012. My mom moved to Florida. I just finished my associate's degree. I moved to Whitewater, Wisconsin, enrolled in Whitewater, met this girl in the summer of 12. And then I was like, just head over heels for this woman. And then Christmas Eve, she's like, I want nothing to do with you. Get the hell out of my apartment.
I don't know where you didn't see it coming. There's no smoke where the fire's.
Blindsided, like Sandra Bullock, blindsided. Bro.
Savage.
So I called my buddy in the parking lot. He's like, hey man, just find somewhere. I was homeless for like hour and a half, 2 hours. Foreign, didn't know anybody in Green Bay except one buddy, Matt. Called Matt. I'm like, hey man, this is what's going on. He's like, you fucking kidding me? He's like, come on over, man. I got a couch. So I've slept in way worse places. And
it's such a shame, man, because you're such a good person now. But was it you're suffering from depression stuff from military?
Yeah. PTSD? So every day I deal with PTSD and depression. Yep.
And I'm talking to my ass here. I don't know. I'm sure I have a splash of CT. No. It's coming literally up to
CTE. You mean
CTE? I have CTE for sure.
Yeah.
But and I don't know at what.
No
level?
TBI. No TBI for me. I don't have any TBIs as far as I know because I wasn't blowing up and I didn't see direct. I didn't see direct combat, and that's the big thing in the veteran community. So there's other veterans out there. This is how hypocritical the veteran community is, which absolutely pisses me off. We have veterans out there that will be like, "Hey, bro, you got to do the 22 push-ups, save veterans' life, prevent veteran suicide," and then they meet another veteran and be like, "Yeah, man, I was in Afghanistan and I did like 3 deployments and we fucking we murked Taliban. Where were you at? Oh, I was in Kuwait. Fuck you, kill yourself. You're a fucking piece of shit." They'll literally say that to people. And it's just like, what are we doing in our community? Like, yeah, you're comparing your service to another service member, and we're not going anywhere. And here's the deal:
situation's different.
I don't fucking care. I do not like the 22 push-up thing. It does nothing for our community. Brown University just released a study, 75-page study of the impact of the push-ups. It's actually making it worse. Right, I read the whole study.
It's like that ice bucket challenge. It seems good, but it's also checking the box so people feel like they're doing something, but you're not doing anything.
Guess what? I wasn't waiting for when I had the gun in my mouth, or I was trying to suffocate myself.
To get on Instagram and see somebody doing 22 push-ups.
I was. Yeah, where's the people doing push-ups for me?
Yeah.
Or ruck marching. I'm sorry, I did that for a period of like 4 years out of 6 years. I carried heavy things for a period of like. There's so much hypocrisy, but like they saw the ice bucket challenge thing back in 2012, right? Which was amazing. Like it took off really well. But then the veteran community is like, well, what about us? The thing about our community is that we try to promote and we try to, and it's good to raise awareness, but we're copying. We're not original. We're not organic. And I'm just like,
there's some guys who are like Black Rifle. I know you have that hat on. Man, so those are my boys, like Matt Best and all those boys.
I was on at their ranch.
Those are my guys.
I love those guys. They're so nice.
And it's also like, not just saying because I'm the best coffee in the world. I'm a coffee snob. It's the best coffee in the world.
Like, are we? You think we're both snobs? Because I have Chemex, I have a scale, I have everything. I have an espresso maker.
Yeah, dog, you're doing it.
Like I watch the water, the temperature.
Hell yeah. We
weigh the water, everything, like the 16-to-1 ratio.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
I'm into this.
See, look at us.
Yeah,
look at us. Sorry, Mark.
Sorry, Mark. Get out of here. Mark doesn't have CT like this.
I double fisted the hotel coffee on the way here. And I actually made 2 cups, and I was going to offer Senator Brennan. I'm like, he's not going to.
You just lost Black Rifle as a follower.
Yeah, I'll walk 3 miles for a proper cup of coffee. But when you're saying people aren't original, like Black Rifle's original.
They with their engagement and how they're attaching a culture, community and culture to what they're doing.
But to me, like the military, it's a culture, and like
it is.
Obviously, I don't, and it's the same thing with comedy. Like, don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of people like Rogan and Tom and Bert, and there's a ton of people who give back and bring up other comics and pay it forward. And I try to do my best to do that.
Right.
And I feel like in the military, obviously, I'm sure there's some dark arts there. But I guess because I'm around Black Rifle and Tim Kennedy and, he
motorboated me.
That's my guy. I mean, Tim are really close. That's my guy. He's my favorite human on the planet. But they give back. So I just see that part. And I'm like, man, military is so dope, man. They just make sure they're taking care of each other.
We're a tribe.
Yeah.
We definitely take care of each other. And the thing that I get, because like I'm in that pseudo world of veteran advocacy. Like if a veteran calls me like, hey, Ryan, I'm having a hard time paying my rent. All right, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to contact this resource, these people. They're going to hook you up with some stuff, but there's a potential that you're not going to be able to use them for like another year if something happens. You know what I mean? Like I'm very transparent with it. But our community, it seems like we want more. We always want more. This is the paradoxical question: is that when Veteran Day comes around, all these restaurants offer free food, right? But then when I'm putting on an event or another organization's putting on an event,
where's that same energy?
Why is there more veterans at Applebee's for free food than there is at this event to raise money for a veteran that needs a wheelchair ramp? Nobody can answer me that question.
That's a shame.
Nobody can answer that question. So, and then on top of it, it makes my job just a little bit harder. You know what I mean? But going back to
but that's why you're built for it, and thank God you didn't kill yourself. And also, back to your dad, fuck that guy. It's like that's why you were put on this earth, is to give back, dude.
I'm obsessed with what I do.
Calling.
I'm obsessed with what I do, gentlemen. I believe obsession will beat talent any day of the week.
100%. And then when you mix talent with obsession, you got a problem on your hands.
I think I'm there.
Yeah.
I love when I wake up in the morning. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I don't care what day of the week it is. Some people look forward to Friday. Motherfucker, I look forward to every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every day. Especially Sundays. You got Sunday football coming up.
Yeah.
But 2012 happened, and then fast forward to 2013. That's when I found Elijah Schlesinger. She looks just like my ex.
I mean, Eliza is gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Drop dead.
Here's something about Eliza too that you'd love.
Her husband's a chef, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I see the food that he makes. Man.
Yep.
Golly.
Yep. Eliza is, has the same work ethic as a Joe Rogan or anybody out there. Just such a savage, man.
Yes.
And very smart, and like her work ethic is nutso. Sells major tickets. As far as whether male or female, she's right up there, man.
And the thing I love about it most is that she's a female, and especially in the military, women veterans don't get very much attention, so disenfranchised in the veteran community. And where I grew up with a single mother, I see that. I'm just like, women power. She's out there crushing it. is comedy male dominated? Would you say?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean it's better now than it was in the 90s.
100%.
But it's also a numbers game. It's a talent game. It's also who's selling tickets. But you know, Amy Schumer, obviously, I don't know where she went wrong, but when she was coming up, you're talking about one of the greatest to ever do it. She was hilarious, man.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think I've watched very many, but some of the stuff she does put on, it's pretty funny. And
Amy Schumer was the best to ever do it. Yeah, now a little different. You know, she got famous and she's shouting from her high top, and you know, she
disavowed her old act.
Yeah, she doesn't. She looks frowned upon it, but you know, and then you got Whitney Cummings, who's a savage. Man. I don't know if you've ever seen Whitney stuff. Like there's Ali Wong, like Christina P. Like there's some.
Christina P. is pretty funny.
Oh my god,
she's funny,
man.
She's funny. And then oh man, I'm having a brain fart. Daily Show, Marine Corps veteran.
Female?
No. He's a male. He was on Daily Show. He's a Marine Corps veteran.
Not Jordan.
No. I can't forget his.
White, black.
Rob Riggle.
Rob. Yeah.
Sorry.
Comedic actor.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, he flew planes, right?
Something.
Marine or something? Yeah, he's hilarious.
And when I see that though, and this is the whole point, I have a point to this whole conversation, is that
I'm enjoying it.
Is that, you know, I went to school for sociology, so study of groups of people.
Me
right?
too.
And so you're very familiar with it, that it's like you look at the military, you look at transition, you look at people, especially our community, you have so many people that come from different socioeconomic backgrounds and classes, right? People that were in the NFL, but probably came from money. There's a good chance they came from money, but there's also a good chance, who was an NFL player like last year that was camped out, or like he was homeless and then
a receiver for the Chiefs.
Thank you. I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot what team.
Yeah.
So look at that spread. There's so many different types of people in the NFL, UFC, the military, right?
UFC especially. But then they see these people succeeding, right? And it's like, then I look at Rob Riggle and I'm like, man, he was in the Marine Corps. He was an officer. He was in that movie 12 Strong. And I look at that and I'm like, man, that's an example. Same with Evan Hafer. Look at what he did. Look what he created out of his garage. And I look at all these other, look at what you created out of the midst of, you know, and football, UFC, in your stand-up, and you created your own identity. And I think that's the problem in society, is that people aren't comfortable with who they are to create what they want. But it's also triggering for them, because the shit I had to go through and sacrifice I had to make to get to even where I'm at now.
Right.
It's a lot, but it can be triggering for somebody who never had the balls, or maybe they grew up with a family that doesn't support them, for whatever reason, they just didn't take the chances.
Right.
So other success can be triggering for them, and the way they deal with that is by throwing negativity. It's like, you doing that right there. Yeah. You're not going to get to where you want to go.
But you mentioned earlier, you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, like Mark, right?
Always.
And what I tell my veterans is that you are a culmination of the 5 closest people you have in your life. So if you have 5 people that are shitbirds, they're going to prison, they're getting in trouble, you're going to be the 6th.
Correct.
If you have 5 people, like I can name off my 5 right now, is that they're crushing it. My buddy Blair, my buddy Bob, my buddy Rob, my buddy, Charles, and then I got my buddy Brandon. They're all crushing it in life.
And White.
Probably.
Yeah. Those names are so.
Well, my buddy Antoine.
We have Frank.
Can I throw
Daniel,
an Antoine?
Joe.
What about Antoine?
Bill. Antoine works. Yeah.
Antoine. Okay, sorry.
At the end, you're all Tyrone.
So my buddy Antoine, he was a drill sergeant in the Army. Incredible human. One of my closest friends. He grew up in Palm Beach. He went to school with wide receiver, NFL player, Pierre Garcon.
Oh yeah, super stud.
Yeah, so he went to high school with him.
Oh, nice.
And Antoine, I look at Antoine, what he did. He had kids. He was raising kids, going to college, being in the mill. And I look up to those people. But this seems like there isn't very many mentors anymore in our culture. There's only influencers. What happened to mentoring? You know what I mean? Like that really kind of bugs me.
They're out there. They're out there, but it's like the majority's not. But if you're searching the right places, they're out there.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's actually something that I have found, because I used to work. I worked as a football coach right out of college. I, did subbing, did tutoring. I didn't like the teaching environment that requires you to go to a school, and it's usually, again, like a female-dominated environment, and I'm not always welcome in that. But what I found was I really liked working with young men, because your influence on certain things can be so disproportionate and long-lasting. So now when I talk to people online, for example, when people come to me with questions, I can't always do it, and I get a lot of messages. I also post a lot of memes. So like, the messages might be mostly me, like haha to my meme.
Right.
And I try to sift through and look for questions that have to do with training, anabolics, diet, anything like that. And lately I've been trying to respond. And then if it's more complicated, I go, hey, on my drive home from work, let's get on the phone and I can talk to you. You know,
Mark's legit doing that. Like, you know, I do meet and greets.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever, there's 100, 150 people, 200 people, whatever it is. So I take don't get me wrong, I take my time to talk to him. Mark, I mean, he's doing a podcast with some, he'll be like, dude, this guy's a business plan. You need to invest. He'll bring him in the locker room, in the green room, like, hey,
he wears
Mark,
size 12 shoes. He wears twice size shoes.
Yeah. So, but Mark, his heart's almost too big.
Did the kids listen to you? Like, you walk into a sub, and they walk in the first day of class and they see Thor walking into the fucking class.
Well, I didn't look like this when I was substitute teaching. Yeah. And I tried to dress more normal, but actually they do respond to the fact that you're a young man. Like, you know, it was actually to my benefit in most
because you can relate to
situations. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
They're used
I'm
to
hip. I'm cool.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what's up? You know,
was it Dr. Evil? Ticka, ticka, ticka,
yeah,
ticka,
ticka. I'm hip. Hey, Macarena. Yeah. He's like, that's not even in there.
I would just come in and break dance and win the whole room over.
Mark's doing TikTok.
We should call it Preparation H. Sorry.
Yeah. Mark's still doing TikTok dances. They're all, what the
fuck is this guy doing?
Dude, I got it.
Mark's like, you. They're all, God damn it.
I just go up and instead of my name on the chalkboard, I just put my TikTok handle.
Yeah.
Your TikTok handle's on your bicep. You're like, you see that?
No,
you're all like, subscribe, kids. That's my time.
Yeah. First assignment of the day.
Enjoy Miss
like
Peterson.
Yeah. You know, it's amazing. I got a sense of how different I was in a certain environment. I could be totally normal and you know, you're a football player, whatever, you're totally blending in, but then you go to the school environment and the kids' eyes light up. And I didn't expect that, but now it gave me an understanding that to a kid of a certain age who's looking for masculine role models and you're able to, you have any sort of muscle or whatever. And like, part of me is always like, but another person wants to talk about lifting. Like part of my brain says that, but also I go, you could be the difference between somebody like starting to work out or getting, so I like to think of it as, look, I'm not going to, like every person who I get on the phone with or message back, I don't need to become your trainer, but if I point you in the right direction,
just
you know what I mean?
Take a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
What's like that kid, what's his freaking name?
Jacob Kendall?
Jacob Kendall. So this kid, I was doing a show in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And this, you know, he's probably 22, 23, you know, big kid, you know, thicker kid. And he looks like the kid off Bad Santa if he grew up, right? So he looks like that. Shout out to Jacob Kendall. So I get off stage and do meet and greets and we're wrapping up and it was the Thursday night show. And the manager goes, oh, this kid drove far, man. He wants to meet you. I'm like, okay. You know, I'm always down. I thought it was like a kid. And I go out there and it's freaking the big ass kid from Bad Santa. I'm like, oh, what's up, dude? And he's like, hey, man, and he's just talking about comedy. I'm like, where'd you drive from? And he's like, I drove from Indiana with traffic. Took me 3.5 hours to get here. I'm like, you drove 3.5? I go, you went to the show? He goes, no, I couldn't get tickets. He's like, I'm just coming in to say what's up, man. I was like, you drove 3.5 hours?
And he also said, he goes, could you give me advice on comedy as a young comic?
Yeah, and he said, I just came because I want some advice. I'm lost. I can't get up in Indiana. I can't do anything, man. And he's like, I'm about ready to quit. You know, he has issues with his mom and his family want him to stop. And he works this 9 to 5 with his dad, like fixing plumbing or something like that. And I go, okay. And I go, you get up a lot? He goes, whenever I can. I'll do bars. I don't give a shit. I'll do Dave and Buster's, man. I don't give a shit as long as I'm getting on stage. I go, well, that's the right attitude there. I go, hold on, dude. He goes, dude, I can't tell you enough. I appreciate it. I knew you were going to be cool. Everyone tells me you're nice, but I had no idea, blah, blah. Yeah, man. And then he's walking around. I go, hold on, come back. And I go, you drove 3.5 hours? And I go, and you're driving back now? And he goes, yeah. And so on his phone, I go, show me your address. And he hits MapQuest, says like 2 hours and 40 minutes. I go, no, hold on, dude. This is what we're going to do. I said, how many minutes do you have? Like legit minutes. Don't bullshit me. Like how much? And he goes, on 4 minutes. He goes, past 4 minutes. It gets ugly. He goes, at 4 minutes. I go, you're not going home. I'm going to get you a hotel. I'm going to get you a nice hotel here. You're going to open up for me for the next 4 shows, Friday, Saturday. He's like, are you shitting me? Like, you're not going home. And he's like, oh, man. And he works at the Helium in Indy. He's like, man, they might fire me. I'm like, then I don't want you to lose your job. I don't know your finances. You need that. But if you can figure it out, I'll give you 4 minutes on each show. And he's like, dude, all right. And I'm like, well, let me know if you're good to go and I'll book you a hotel. He's like, okay, cool. So I booked him like the nicest hotel in Fort Wayne, which isn't saying much, but still it's the nice hotel in Fort Wayne. And he goes on stage and crushes, man. He crushes. And then Mark was filming all. And we're like, how'd it go? He's like, oh my God, man, blah, blah, blah. And crushes the rest of the weekend, like destroys, man. We're hanging out with him and I'm talking about certain things what I think you should do. And then, you know, we get done and he's like, I can't thank you enough, man. I was about to quit. This is exactly what I needed. I'm like, dude, you can do this, man. I'm telling you can do it. You're fucking funny, dude.
Right.
So I'm like, here's my number. Text me whenever, if you need help with bits or whatever, just shoot me a text with whatever bit you're working on. I'll punch it up for you. We can figure it out. He's like, oh, dude, you're the best, blah, blah, blah. I move on my merry way. I get a text last night when you got off stage. He sends me a picture. He sends me, I love this. He sends me a picture of that same comedy club. And he has been going back there and they've been giving him spots because they saw him with me getting spots. And they just passed him as a regular at that comedy club. Now he's a paid comic. He's a paid regular comic.
Yeah. It's a huge deal.
That's
for a comic. It's like a big deal. Yeah.
First off, like, thank you for helping him. Like, that's awesome. Like some blue collar kid, like it's probably, but how old is he?
24, maybe 23.
Right there at the beginning
and he's working with his dad, like doing plumbing. I'm like, and I told him, I go, what do you have to lose, dude? Your dad's not going to fire you. You can go back working that plumbing job.
Well, at least he has a dad.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, my boy on the Frag Out podcast doesn't even have a dad, and he's figuring it out, man. I mean, was he going to blow his brains out a few years ago? Yes.
Yeah.
At Lambeau Field, yes, and super disrespectful, but he was going to do it. There's other ways to do this.
Sorry, Curly Lambeau. Sorry, Curly. sorry, Vince Miller.
And my comment on this whole story was, you know, not only is it's a testament to Brendan's generosity, but
it's more
also
about that kid.
Also the risk. You know, like Brendan is a risk taker, and he's gonna let people. Now he's not going like, and I'll be on stage with you, and if you like, he's going, I'm gonna take a risk on you. I'm gonna let you on stage. If you suck, I can't do anything about that. But if you can see that opportunity and seize it and bring the goods, and you're prepared for it, you know, something really cool happened. But I think that's always, to bring it back to what we were talking about before, of these, like, usually people with negative, because every male thinks they're a comedian. Every single male in America is like, well, I could do that. Oh, talking to him, I could do that. Well, like, so they do have resentment towards people who are like, he's not supposed to do this, you know?
Right.
But the thing is, it's just getting on stage is scary.
Yes.
Taking business risks is scary.
Yeah.
And if you're a pussy,
being in front of people is scary.
Yeah. You know, so if you're a pussy and you find more comfort in shitting on other people online rather than risking the humiliation of like bombing on stage, or, you know, like, this is a huge risk that most people simply aren't willing to take. So
the whole story about being afraid of going on stage kind of reverts back to when I was in the military. We were learning, it was like kind of like a last stand thing. We learned is that if you're about to come in contact, or you feel like you're going to be outnumbered, and you have to, so basically what you do is you go to the place that you don't think anybody would ever go to, right? Mm-hmm. So where we learned how to do this it was the swamp. Nobody would ever look in a swamp because swamps are fucking nasty, bro, right? They're filled with some nasty fucking critters, bro, right? Yeah. So we were taught basically is like, if you're in a small element, go to where you don't think the enemy would go, right? So like the swamp, or like the shithole.
Do what they're not willing to do.
Exactly. So then you get into a circle, and you do 15-minute watches per person. So if you have 8 people, 15 times 8, you're gonna get some good sleep in there, right? I'm not really fast at math, so anyway, do the math. And someone is always looking at the path of travel. So you're gonna guess which way they're gonna come. You put a claymore right there, and if you see something, you just clack off a claymore, and you're just gonna fucking destroy people. Yeah. But what my NCO told me is like, you show me what you're afraid of, I'm going to show you what you're made of.
Yep. 100%.
And that should be the motto of, like, basically not only stand up, but anything you do. Show me what you're afraid of, and I'm going to show you what you're made of.
And it's not easy to do because you got to get out of your comfort zone. You know, it's like
same thing with the gym.
Yeah, with everything, like, you got to get out of your comfort zone and like that regular routine that's easy to do, because then you're going to look back and you'll be fucking 40. I'm like, God, I never took any chances.
I wasn't really afraid of doing this, like being on a podcast. I started this from a kitchen table with my mom. I didn't always have this. My first episode's with my mom.
With your mom?
Yep, at my kitchen table at my old apartment.
Trying to figure out who your dad is?
And
your mom's like, I have the results.
Yeah. It was a different name podcast back then.
The fatherless podcast.
Dominic Sue is not the father. You're all dancing like it's Maury Povich.
But I got in trouble my whole life talking. I got detentions. Like, I've been talking my whole life. my whole life, and throughout school, everything like that. And I got detentions. I got 7 detentions in a month.
And another thing where it's like, you should have been rewarded for that or noticed for it, but you're being
not back
punished
then.
for it.
Not back then.
Even now, though, it's like kids with school. It's like when you think about it, it's like, what are they really teaching them that they're going to be able to use in the real world?
Yeah.
What are you teaching them?
Probably nothing.
And that was always one thing where I'd identify like, hey, like if I could get this message to one kid, like you're going to be, as long as you're in this school environment, like you being funny is going to be shit on by everyone around you. I mean, besides kids, but like any authority figure. So let me just plant the seed. I'm like, you have to make it out of here and like try to do this or try to use that because it's a gift.
Yeah.
You know,
there's some good things about school, like the dedication, like figuring out, like, you know, it's a shame with math because kids just have calculators and their phones and shit. So math is a dying breed in writing, but a lot of it is important. Like my kid, I don't frown upon the school system and what they're doing. I wish they would teach some other stuff, but it's also like, I want him to like, oh, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, I know, but you still got to get it done, dude. You can't just do what you're good at or what you like.
Right.
So that stuff to me is important.
I was bullied really bad. I was in special education. I was bullied really bad. And I played youth football in 8th grade. Skipped 9th grade because I moved from West Dallas to Waterford. Sam Alvey's where he's from. And then I did 10th, 11th, and 12th grade football. And I put on good amount of muscle because I was just sick of being picked. I was a skater, you know what I mean? And I love the dedication and that all that stuff I learned on the football field, literally all of it can be used in the military.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, teamwork, discipline, being on time, being in the right uniform, you know what I mean? And accepting the fact you are going to suck at least once during that season.
100%.
And here's the thing, I wasn't a starter. I wasn't the fastest, wasn't the fattest, wasn't the best catcher. You know what I mean? But you know what? I showed up because I was having fucking fun. Yeah. And if I was going to be in school, I wanted to hit some people.
And there's a goal. There's a goal. You're doing it with your friends. Like there's a common goal that you're all trying to achieve.
I wasn't trying to go to college and play. Yeah. I knew that wasn't in the cards for me. College was expensive. I'm a single parent. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to join the mill. My recruiter was a smoke show. So that's how I got into the military. and it comes out, right? Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, you want $20,000? Yeah. Yes, I do.
She's all, we're sending you to Howard University. She's like, you're going to be the only white guy. It's going to be a nightmare. You're going to get bullied every day.
Right.
What are you saying?
Right.
Giant tits are memorizing.
But even hierarchy, like you're talking about, like I wasn't the best. That's something when you meet people who have never played team sports and it shows because you're like,
gosh,
oh, if you're not the man, you just quit.
Yeah, you don't get it.
You know?
Yeah.
There's people like that in the military. Like I tried to hey, did you ever play team sports? They're like, don't fucking talk to me. She's like, oh fuck, dude, jeez.
Yeah, because you understand it's like, hey, I'm down here and everybody has to start down here and you will be rewarded with hard work, whatever. And sometimes it's unfair, but like that's so important to life, I think, that there are a lot of people out there who sort of like, I mean, you know, it's part of like PC woke culture is the rejection of hierarchy, but it's like that is in play. The most hierarchies are legitimate.
I don't think you realize we're on the same level here. Like we're in basic training. Like, sorry, like we're both shitbirds right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. But also building muscle is a form of protection for a lot of people too, because maybe something happened to them, trauma.
Correct.
The guy above my shoulder, Brennan Wagner, unfortunately he passed away a couple months ago too. He had TBIs and he had seizures and he had a seizure and he hit his head and he didn't wake up. He was on the show. He's episode 104. He was a very small individual when he was in the Air Force. He did like 3-4 combat deployments. Before he even got in the military, he was raped by his family members, and babysitters. And then he was on leave from Iraq, and some random attack in California with brass knuckles hit him in the face, broke his jaw. He was wired shut. Severe drug and alcohol abuse, all of it. He put on that muscle because he didn't want people to think that he was vulnerable. Yeah. You see what I'm trying to say?
Jesus Christ.
One of the most amazing people I've ever met, and he's gone. Same thing with Dominic. But the gym is a place of solitude, I believe. And, and one thing I used to think, I was such a douchebag back in the day. I was like, man, I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get jacked. And there's always those women there. I never, ever picked up a woman in the gym. I feel like that is the worst place for it. It's the worst fucking place to do it.
Yeah.
Because they're there because they feel like they need to improve something on themselves. But then you're there for the opposite reason. Yeah. It's a horrible place to do it.
Yeah.
It's absolute horrible place. Like if you're out there.
But it is essential because I think most guys who struggle with women, even if your physique doesn't change immediately, part of that is just the self-esteem and confidence of going, I'm a guy who works out.
Right.
I'm somebody who has this healthy habit. And then eventually you'll look better, but I do think it's a foundational thing that in the long run helps you out.
Right. But also seeing those attractive girls in the gym, and maybe you're going at the same time, so you develop a relationship where it's like, oh, what are you working today? So just
Yeah.
talking to that smoke show gives you confidence outside
Sure.
of the gym.
Yeah, correct. Community
without being
and
creepy.
social skills. Yeah.
I'm friends with so many of the women at my gym, and
God
most
bless
of
you.
most of them are, you know, whether they're married, they have kids. Some of them
Yeah.
are, you know, young and single. Some of them are police officers here in town. And I just
And
want to be,
what's
I just
the-
want to be a friend with
Yeah,
them.
no doubt. What's the name of this gym?
Crunch
Oh, it's
Fitness.
Crunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Crazy, yeah.
I mean, I'm at the point in my
Well,
life.
I'm gonna miss your Lombardi race tomorrow because I'll be at Crunch Fitness.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
you won't regret it,
Yeah.
bro. You won't. I'm at the point in my life, gentlemen, where I much rather lose money than a friend. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I don't fucking care about it. I think friendships, because like if you look back where I was February 2013, very dark moment of my life. I was drinking and driving, doing real horrible shit, and my friends literally told me I lived a block from downtown University of Wisconsin Whitewater,
Yeah.
and this is where Jim Belushi went to college.
Yep.
That's where he got the idea for Animal
Animal
House.
House. Yes. Sir.
So this is, I mean, there's a historic historic meaning of partying in Whitewater, Wisconsin. I was driving a block.
Wisconsin's known for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah,
number
party-
one state in the
party,
party. Yeah, absolutely. We have more bars than grocery stores per capita in the
Yeah,
state of Wisconsin.
every year you guys set the record for like most party state.
Yep, you gotta go to lacrosse.
Barstool just did a thing on how crazy Wisconsin is.
Crazy.
Uh,
But my buddies found out that I was doing that, and they're like, "We're not going to hang out with you unless you stop." And at that moment in my life, I lost so many things in my life. I didn't want to lose friends.
But also, those friends are important for you because you didn't have a dad. Like
Yep,
my dad
yep.
would tell me, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Absolutely, yeah.
That's
And
why I didn't drink till I started stand up. I didn't drink in college, didn't do drugs, nothing. I didn't start drinking till I started doing stand up because when I was young, I looked up to Junior Seau and Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey, and those were my heroes. My dad was like, "They don't drink. You want to be like them? They don't drink." Now they might have, but my dad goes, "They don't touch that stuff."
Right.
And you're nowhere near their talent level. So if you want to get even close to that, don't drink. And I was like, say less.
Right.
Didn't drink all through athletics. Didn't drink in the UFC. None of that stuff. Until I started stand up.
I didn't really drink until I was like maybe a year or two in the military,
Mm-hmm.
and then just, you know, kind of, whether it was not so much before Iraq, definitely after Iraq.
Yeah.
I did my partying in Vegas for a little while. That was bananas. And then I did some internships, and I saw like this was not, you know, I got the college out of me, 8.5 years of college, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good. Now it's more social, and
I like as I'm getting older, I just like the flavor of it. I have my own whiskey.
you should get some carbless. So carbless is kind of it's a seltzer drink, but my buddy Adam Craner and his wife own it. He's an Iraq war vet, and it's
that's
made
dope.
right here in Sheboygan.
If he was in an Iraq war vet, I'd make fun of it. I don't like seltzers because I'm not in a frat, right?
zero sugars, zero carbs.
I don't care.
Send some my way.
You didn't want the sugars in the RTDs.
Well, those RTDs have 90 grams of sugar. I don't want to shit my pants. I get a podcast.
I'm just
to do,
saying
Daddy.
though.
No, that is cool.
That is cool.
No, I hope it blows up for him.
They already are.
But you
It's
pretty much
huge.
exclusively just drink high quality whiskey.
Yeah, I only drink whiskey.
If I would have known that, I would have brought you something.
I would have brought you some. I'll get your address. I'll ship you a bottle of my own. I have my own whiskey. Bourbon, yeah.
That's really nice of you. I really
Tiger
appreciate it.
Thick, Yeah.
I don't want to keep you guys. I don't know if you guys have a hard cut here. But there's a million things I wanted to ask you, and it was just this is what I
Yo, let's start knocking it out. 999. I don't know how long you guys have. Let's knock out a few.
But I mean, it is it's awesome to meet individuals with what you guys are doing and invoking positivity with with your videos and what you do, Mark. You got to be careful with your last name in Wisconsin. You might get sued for copyright infringement. And if you guys ever
or sponsorship.
Yeah.
or sponsorship, I mean, so
Could go both ways.
I'm just saying,
Mark
yeah.
Harley Davidson Motorcycles. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. And we just got sued.
Yeah, and we owe $100,000.
Have you guys been to the Harley Museum down in Milwaukee?
No.
Have you?
No.
When you were there, you didn't go?
No, I'm not the biggest motorcycle guy. Now, if it was a Ferrari museum,
Sure.
Porsche museum, I'm
Sure.
there. Ford, I'd go.
Right. But I mean, next time you're in Milwaukee, just give it a shot. I think you'd be thoroughly impressed with the museum.
I like that it's American made and the branding of it. I love all that shit. So I probably should go. Let's
first-
start with Lambo and take it from there.
Let's do Lambo. The first shop of Harley actually was no bigger than this office. Do you guys know that?
Oh, no.
So when you go to the museum, there's actually this white piece of tape, and if you read the sign, it says the first Harley Davidson fit inside of this rectangle.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
And it was no bigger than this room.
What is now? I was supposed to get my, even though I don't ride motorcycles, I've always wanted to, especially in LA, because you can cut through the cars.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
get so jealous when I see them cut through the traffic. I'm like,
Sure.
son of a bitch. But then I'll see someone just dead on the side of the road. I'm like, that's why I don't do it. But also, I have kids, so I can't take that. I'm a risk taker, but not when it comes to that stuff. Right. I have kids. I can't die. My kids need me. So I don't have a motorcycle. But the only time I was going to get one is Harley Davidson. I don't think they do anymore. They used to sponsor the UFC. You should be a big sponsor.
They had the big logo in the middle of the thing.
Yeah, they paid big bucks for that. And part of the deal is they would pick 10 events, big pay-per-views a year, and they pick one fight, and whoever won that fight got to pick any Harley Davidson they want. So when I fought Travis Brown, Harley Davidson like, oh, we love Brendan, we love Travis. Whoever wins that fight can pick out their Harley Davidson. So you got to pick out the Harley before you do the fight. So I picked out this sick hog, man. And hog, that's what we call them in the streets.
Yeah.
Hog's code for
live to ride to live.
Yeah, hog's code for motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
So I pick out this sick hog, and
wild hogs,
wild hog, dude. And I was like, this thing's gonna be so sick. And then I got beat up, and he got the Harley Davidson. Yeah,
he got the one he chose, not yours.
No, but I don't know. Maybe
wouldn't that be wild if you chose?
Despite me, he was like, "Which one did Schaub build? I'll take that one." And then just picture.
Yeah.
If you're ever down there, give it a shot.
Yeah,
give it a shot.
But the problem is if I fall in love with motorcycles, I'm gonna get one. It's fucking trouble.
You got if you're a fan of old movies, you got Easy Rider, the Easy Rider bike's on there.
Yep.
And you got the bike that Jesse James built with the old Knucklehead engine in there. I was a huge Jesse James fan growing up because I went to school for welding, so I love what he did, his fabrication.
Oh, he was a monster,
dude.
Yeah,
man. Long Beach was his place.
Long Beach Customs. I had a Long Beach Customs shirt. I used
West
to
Coast.
West Coast Choppers. That's right. I had a West Coast Chopper shirt.
Yep. Anaheim. Well, it was Long Beach. It was like on Anaheim Road or something like that, and they renamed it after him. It was crazy. But no, if you get a chance, go down there. Harley Davidson. There's just so many. Wisconsin is just a fascinating state.
Dude, I'm excited to go to Lambeau. I'm gonna get a Aaron Rodgers authentic jersey and an autographed Brett Favre dick pic.
I can't promise. I can't promise. I can't promise any of that.
Is that frowned upon to bring up?
Are you guys gonna? So wait, really quick. Are you guys think you're gonna do the stair climb tomorrow morning or what?
I'm down. Are you down, Mark?
I'm down.
So I'm gonna be there.
Am I gonna be able to walk though? Is it a fucking nightmare? Because I got 2 shows tomorrow night. It's gonna be a nightmare.
No. I'll bring my my massage gun. I got a massage gun now. I don't know if you want to share.
I bet
Is that weird?
Fine.
You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be fine. You're gonna see these firefighters show up in full kit and they do this whole.
Oh, and they sweat their ass off.
I don't know how they do it. I wear my body armor, and I got a bunch of other veterans coming up. The owner of Lit Beard Co. actually is coming up. He actually walked from Milwaukee to California in 5 months, 2,700 miles, and they made a documentary. He's a friend of mine. Yeah, incredible human. So you're gonna meet some pretty hardcore dudes and women.
Yeah, that'd be cool
to come. So, but can you guys plug your social medias and websites really quick for me, for everyone that was listening?
I'm shadow banned on Instagram, so you're not going to find me. But if you're savvy with the gram, it's at Brendan Schaub on everything. And then my comedy special, Gringo Poppies, on my YouTube. It's Thick Boy. All my shows are on there. Food Truck Diaries, the Schaub Show.
Funny.
Then I have Fire and the Kid, who's a separate channel. King the Sting with Theo Vaughn and Chris D'Elia. And then I have my own comedy channel. It's just Brendan Schaub on YouTube, where all my clips, the Green Room Diaries I was talking about, other vlogs and shit are on there.
Just launched it, so.
Yep, just launched it.
And we're doing a giveaway for new subscribers, so if you go to that, you'll.
Oh yeah, my own Funko toy. I have a Thick Boy Brendan Schaub Funko toy, so every 1,000 subscribers we pick one and just mail it out to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then mine is at Hella Mark Harley. HELLA MARKHARLEY.
You're gonna wait for that cease and desist letter from Harley Davidson.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's gonna be funny.
That just makes sense.
But
and then let's see. Oh yeah, I have the weekly Haters Will Say podcast on the Thick Boy Network, which I would describe as a fitness adjacent podcast. I talk about fitness, but also psychology, psychedelics, current events, and anything that I can relate back to working out. So. Try to make it a little bit different than other fitness content.
That's entertaining.
On the web. Yeah. It's very entertaining. I like the intro video. It's like very retro.
Yeah,
I love that shit. I love that shit. Oh man,
hell yeah!
About like, the power of Castle Hates Gold.
It reminds me, like I was expecting you to wear zebra pants.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
You know what I'm talking about?
Zubras,
yeah. Because they came out. And then
MC Hammer made
MC Hammer, and but then the Raiders fans wore them all the time in the 90s.
I had a Raiders pair, and my brother had the Niners pair.
Yeah, dude, those were the shit.
Wish I had a pair right
It makes you look like you have bigger quads, but then you take them off and be like, oh, what the fuck? Like,
now, do you think I could wear those Zuba pants and my fanny pack and walk down Appleton and not have a hate crime happen to me?
I can't. I don't want to overpromise or underpromise anything.
That's fair.
Sorry, bro.
That's fair.
Sorry.
Can I fire that bazooka?
You can hold it in the picture if you want.
Okay.
You take it off the wall.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But gentlemen, I just want to again thank you very much. This means the absolute world to me, and this is gonna like the mission of the podcast is to share, to inspire others, to inspire people to live above the common level of life, and to provide knowledge and set the example for others. That's the mission of the podcast. And when I have guests in here, no matter who they are, no matter what they've done, people see this and be like, man, like if Farva can do it, that's my nickname, Farva from Super Troopers.
Oh,
so if they're like, if Ryan can do it, if Farva can do it, then I can do it too. And this means the world to me, and I'm really thankful for what you guys do out there, pushing positivity, making fun of everyday life,
of course, brother.
helping people with fitness, because like that is, believe it or not, I do work out. I just my dad probably had bad genetics. We don't know.
Yep.
But that's the important thing. Like, whatever, looking a certain way can come after that. But I would encourage every single person, whether you have a physique or not, it's like, if you're doing nothing and you start walking 15 minutes a day, you're going to be happier and you're going to be healthier.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Lizzo has good cardio.
Yeah.
I mean, she dances for hours on
Dude,
stage.
that's impressive.
Yeah, blood pressure's through the roof.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for coming on. It means a lot.
Thank you, man. I'm serious. Hit me up with those veterans need suits or haircuts or whatever it is, shoes. Hit me up.
I'll get you guys' contacts before when we get off here.
Perfect,
unless you want
man.
everybody to know your contact, but
I do.
Probably not. All those Uber drivers do know now, do.
Yeah, right.
But again, thanks.
Thanks for having us. Fuck your dad. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, goddamn it.
I want to end on that.
Nice job, Randolph. You fucked up.
Way to go, Randolph.
Yeah, Randolph. Hey, everybody, that was the episode. Please like, share, subscribe. Check out Brandon Schaub specials. Check out Mark Harley's Instagram and his videos. This was an incredible episode. We'll talk to y'all soon. Have a good day.